Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Aloha, Joe. How's the mic sound? Hopefully it sounds like something. It says we're getting, one thing about this new setup is there's a lot of looking around. Cameras there. The stream deck's underneath it. I'm monitoring the stream over here, which this might be chat, or I might put my laptop over here for chat, undecided. And then I have the TV in front of me. Mic sounds like a mic. All right, I can always rely on Joe for awesome feedback. Anyway, welcome to, I'd say the show, but this is a one-off live stream I'm doing for Wednesday night anyway, just to kind of talk about this channel and the things that are kind of going to be changing on it. As you noticed, it's not called EJR Performance anymore. I wanted to separate the business from, where is it? Hold on. Right there. EJR Racing. Anyway, so EJR Racing is essentially the media division of EJR Performance. So essentially, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep EJR Performance just the motorcycle business. So tuning, wrenching, whatever the hell it is, customer stuff, you name it. That's what EJR Performance is. EJR Racing is the me side of it, which is my opinions on things. Another thing I'm adding, well, I'll get to that in a second, but my opinion of things, the things that I want to do with my spare time, hobby-wise, which was essentially racing-related things. And basically, anytime I go somewhere and film anything, be it racing, be it whatever, I don't know. I don't know what if I'm going to do with, like, how-to stuff. That stuff, I don't know. It's there. I guess I can do it. It depends. But I'm definitely going to be doing some stuff in the shop that's not going to be related to customer stuff. It'll be just like me tinkering with stuff, or you know, I got a fancy draggy and I live out in the middle of nowhere, so I can always turn this into a draggy thing where, or at least make a section for the draggy where people like to do dyno stuff. I'll do draggy stuff. Like, no matter how much I preach, stop paying attention to the draggy and the dyno. It's just an endless battle. But that being said, one thing you're going to see being added to the YouTube side of things, and also I made a second Instagram page, and I'm going to be expanding all of my media stuff to just EJR Racing. The EJR Performance stuff isn't going away. I'm just not using that as a way of social media or media in general anymore. The big thing that I'm going to be doing a lot of for this is basically sim racing. So I'd say beginning of June, I got bit by the sim racing bug, and I've dove into the point where I don't want to say I'm addicted, but I think it's a great segue from, you know, motorsports racing, and a way of bringing a safe, and I'll get to that in a second, a safe, entertainingly fun way of combining the three things that I have passion for: racing, technology, and video games. Those are three things that I've always liked since I can remember. It started with me on slot cars when I was sub 5 years old, model trains, racing, things like that. Not that I raced model trains, but I raced slot cars. My father was a hobbyist. So, and then I got into technology soon after that, and then once I could drive, forget it, it was the sky's the limit on what we're going to do. But that being said, this is part of it. So that's going to be the view you actually see, and that's why this angle was a little weird at first, because without that, there's just a whole lot of mic arm and nothing else. So I do have to get used to the camera placement, though, when I'm looking, because I want to look everywhere but where the camera is. That being said, this is one. This is going to be my wheel for F1 racing and the real die-hard racing, where the try-hard racing, call it that way. We then have the next step up, which is GP racing, or some street cars, but primarily GP stuff. And then we have some street car related stuff and drifting type stuff. Momo Alcantara wheel, and you need a round wheel for drifting. Just the way it is. That being said, I don't want to go off too much on a tangent on sim racing right now, but let's just put this here as a prop because, anyway. So, couple other things I want to talk about. One of which is my presence in street racing. Microphone's over here. I gotta not walk away from that. That's one thing I gotta get used to too when I do these things, is the microphone's right here, and these microphones are kind of designed to, you always move them with your mouth. But in this case, it's fixed, so I need room to be able to move my arms. So I have to basically increase the gain of the microphone and put it further away. I know, technology stuff. That being said, I've decided to get away from street racing personally, for lots of reasons. A lot of the reasons are bad, I guess, I shouldn't say bad. I should just say things that I'm not attracted to anymore. The drama, that's a big part of it. The risk is the biggest thing. So I put up a post a couple weeks ago, and then Dude Mungus did a live stream talking about it. And that is the risk to reward of street racing. And the older I get, the more the risk goes up, and then the reward goes down. And it's a constant cycle of new people, and you always feel like you kind of got to prove yourself, and I don't know why. So I've decided that the street racing side of me is going to get reduced to a very, 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 very niche thing. So I'm still obviously going to, just because I'm not going to compete in street racing publicly anymore, doesn't mean I'm not going to ride my bikes in the street anymore. They're my bikes. I'm going to do what I want. But a lot of the stuff I do is going to be solo testing, stuff like that. I'm actually going to start recording stuff like that for, again, this channel. And then any kind of racing that might get done on the street is going to be, I don't want to say case by case basis, but it's got to have a point. And it's going to be recorded. It's going to be a video. It's not going to be me versus so-and-so. I'm not doing that stuff. I'm not doing tuner versus tuner. I'm not doing anything stuff like that. It's strictly going to be, not to plug like ad block, but ad block of any kind will make those go away. That's the unfortunate only way to make money on YouTube, is to put ads in. If you turn the ads off, that's it. Then this is a zero revenue style of streaming. But the street stuff for me anyway is going to be case by case basis, and if it makes sense to make it a video type thing. And I kind of want to keep it on the more on the science side instead of on the I'm a grudge racer, my dick's bigger than yours type racing, because that's the part I'm over. I don't care anymore. I truly don't. I'd have zero desire to be on any podium in any kind of participation racing, so I'm just good with it. As far as how much weight I lost, I am down to about 145 right now. I was at about 185 in late May. So the last time I rode my Busa actually was in late May, and it was about 185 pounds. I'm 145 now. I'm gonna drop to about 140 and stop, and then because I've been doing no lifting, so no working out of any kind, just strictly strict diet, and that's worked pretty good because let's face it, that's where all of it is. Overall, be the heaviest I've ever been is 205. So 60 pounds total. But I have no business being anywhere. Even 185 for me is, I don't want to use words like obese, but it's heavily overweight. A modern day America has just accepted being so far out of shape as normal that me at 185, everybody's like, oh, you look fine. I'm like, no, I look like a pile of shit. And I feel like a pile of shit. I feel fantastic right now. I'm only 5'5", so there's not a whole lot of reasons to have excessive body fat in life, other than I want to eat a lot of food all the time. You need to talk to me about it. I'm 240. Honestly, there's no secret. There's no science. It's just math. Well, I shouldn't say there's no science. Math is science. But it's whether you eat 500 to 1,000 calories a day of cookies or 500 to 1,000 calories a day of, I don't know, pure protein. How you look at the end might change, but ultimately, you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. That's just how it works. I always recommend trying to eat as much protein in the limited amount of calories. I've been doing a 500 to 800 calorie a day diet, with the exception of weekends. Weekends, I splurge. I don't give a shit. I'm living a life, and I'm basically going to Monday through Friday. Once I get down to the weight I want to go to, or be about 140 or so, I'm going to bump that up to probably 1,500 calories a day, and that should be a maintenance type calorie. And if I start lifting, obviously I have to add calories to supplement the lifting. But I'm not trying to become some like jacked specimen. I truthfully don't care. I just want to put on a little bit of muscle that I lost in the weight loss, because you will lose muscle. I lost primarily fat, but it's just inherent of you. When you're working out in a calorie deficit, you're working out to retain muscle, and I haven't done any working out. So while I have kept the diet extremely high protein, calorie deficit's a calorie deficit. So I have lost muscle, not a lot, but again, I've lost some. But there's no secret to it. Trying to do this like, there's intermittent fasting, there's all these things. The reality is they are all there for you to pick whatever works best for you. There's nothing that's better than the other. There's no super secret, oh, if you eat this and go into ketosis, your body metamorphs into a superhuman and you drop, none, stop. You just eat less. That's the secret. Anyway, I'm not trying to give you guys a science about weight loss. But anyway, I'm about 145 pounds right now. My plan would be get down to about 140, start working out again, increase my calories, and then get to about 150 and just maintain 150. If I go up or down a little bit here and there, I'm not too worried about that. The goal is to stay around 150. So anyway, weight loss covered. Reasons why I'm done with street racing. Well, there's a lot of those. Like this is another reason I need to get away from street racing too in general. Everybody had fun in Vegas. I only see the negatives. And I won't go into what those negatives are, but that's just where I'm at mentally with the street racing thing. I'm kind of just checked out. It's you guys, or if you were there, listen, I'm sure the event was fantastic. I'm not at all knocking that. But all I can see out of it was a lot of just the drama and the crying and the bullshit. And I know that's just part of the game and stuff, but like it's gotten to a point now where I've been doing this so long and I'm so just exhausted by the drama that that's now all I see. And again, I'm sure everybody had a great time, but like this is the second year in a row now where some of the fastest guys that were there, and all of this drama about them racing happened after, when they were there, and I don't understand that shit. What is the sensation to want to talk about things and flex and then be quiet in person? I don't get it. And it's why I know that making that like go to the track isn't going to change much or whatever, but at the end of the day, when you go to an official event, not necessarily just drag racing, but drag racing, half mile, whatever it is, there is no participation trophy. There is a podium, and that's it. Congratulations. You won or you didn't. And there's no, well, if, so, when, maybe, possibly, blah, 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 this excuse, this stipulation, this blah, 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 like is constant on the street. It doesn't fucking matter. Here's your trophy. You win. Everybody else, fuck off. That's what you can't do on the street. There's always an excuse. There's always a problem. Now, this is all very complimentary to me. That's how I take it. However, it's still kind of crazy to see that my ZX10 has not changed in 4 years. So, if you all remember the Chris Moore race, not to bring that sort of recent subject up, but the Chris Moore race, the way my ZX10 was then, I immediately got back home. On the way back home to Rhode Island at the time, I stopped in North Carolina, which is where I live now, at Adams, a MWP Dave sold me a 2020 ZX10 motor, a red top, stock as fuck motor. Bought that because my whole plan was, okay, now that I'm done with this race and I'm kind of done with my effort in the ZX10, I'm going to build the Busa. Because at the time, my ZX10, when I raced him, was a head cam bike. And then my Busa was stock motor. Now, a stock motor Busa, they're fun to kind of tinker with, but at the end of the day, they're 180 horsepower, heavier bike than everything else. Yes, they're more aerodynamic, so in certain scenarios, they can win races they shouldn't. But at the end of the day, your average race, they're an average of 50 pounds heavier done right than a leader bike done right. So my plan essentially went to, okay, I want to get a stock motor back in this bike and I want to build a motor for the Busa because that's why I bought the Busa, not to have another stock engine bike. But I always want a stock motor bike in my stable of bikes to have because at the end of the day, I do like that stuff. Yes, it's stipulation racing. Yes, there's a lot of, it's probably the most toxic form of racing in the street is stock motor shit. It's probably the worst when it comes to that. But there's something about the efficiency and not worrying about how much power the other guy makes, just getting down the road faster or quicker. Sorry. Don't want to offend anybody with that. So I put a stock motor back in the bike 4 years ago. The head cam one got raffled off. And then that bike, outside of crashing it and making it go from green to silver, the exact same motorcycle. So I decided, hey, since I'm not getting any races with the Busa, and the only people I can race with the Busa, I don't even want to attempt to try and race. I just don't feel like going down that path. The nitro, top of the top guys that I don't want to deal with the drama. But ignoring that, the Busa having almost no point anymore, outside of if I go to events and just race it that way and I race myself, which is the plan. I was like, screw it, I'll take the 10 back out and do some racing. I raced the Ducati, who's been that M1K guy. He's been doing pretty good with that bike. Needs an arm, needs to get a little more efficient off the hit, but other than that, the bike's cooking. So I raced him. He's been beating some bikes, a good amount of bikes actually, with motor work. So naturally, when I brought the 10 back out, a 4-year-old setup, immediately accused of having motor work. Immediately. Again, thanks for the compliment. But it's just the point that it's crazy to me that as much as roll racing, or I shouldn't say roll racing, but street racing in general has grown, the same mentalities and the same excuses are the dominating mentalities. And that is always having an excuse for why you're not doing what the other guy is. So he must be cheating. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of fucking cheaters. But it's a street, so the argument is, oh, well, the street's always been run what you brung. That's why it's the worst form of racing. Because every good, professional, sanctioned form of racing has some level of rules. The faster the class gets, the lesser the rules are. But there's always rules. When you just have a no-rules style form of racing, that was the UFC when the UFC didn't have weight classes. They didn't have rules. You could pull hair, you could bite nuts, you could do whatever the hell you wanted to do. And it was pure chaos, and it wasn't very popular. Now all of a sudden we got weight classes, we got rules, and guess what? It's the most popular form of fucking fighting, or martial arts, or combat, whatever you want to call it. Rules. So, anyway, then I went to Pensacola. I raced guys like James Zirkle, who have been beating up on people. He's on fuel, I'm on pump gas. He has a very pinch amount of motor work. I have none. Some people will say I have motor work because of certain things that I have done. Listen, if you want to take those things, if modifying the clutch, if changing the transmission, and if pulling the crank balancer out is motor work, then fine, it's not a stock motor. I don't really give a fuck, but that's what's done. Those are the closest things done to it. And in any kind of like track official, if it hasn't modified anything with the rotating assembly, the top of the motor with the cylinder head, the cams, anything that affects a valve event, it's a stock motor. So if, changing my oil pan is not a stock motor, it's not a stock motor then. I don't care. I really don't. Stock cams, stock valves, stock head gaskets, stock cases, stock pistons, stock rods, stock crank, stock bearings, stock rings. 100% of the valve train is the original valve train. It's a sealed motor. The valve cover's never been off the fucking bike. But anyway, besides the point. And I've preached all the time about efficiency, traction. I have some videos I can show you of an objectively quicker / faster mathematical bike that in its particular scenario, in its circumstance, would have lost to my ZX10. And it would be simply because of the bike can't get down the road. And at the end of the day, what people don't realize is when I was last rode the 10, I was about 5 pounds heavier. I was 150 pounds. The bike's 345 pounds. It's a very efficient, here's another thing too. The gearing in the bike. If you really wanted it to have a motor in it, it has stock motorcycle gearing on it. It is 1741 sprockets and a drag max. It's actually more aggressive if you factor in the tire than a stock motorcycle. So if it had a motor in it, why would I be running that gearing with all the weight loss, myself and the bike? It doesn't make any sense. But, there's not a whole lot of sense making in street racing. But I'm running the same gearing I was on that bike when I was 200 pounds, when I was 180 pounds, whatever. I normally, we got a lighter guy on the bike. We gotta put longer gearing on it because everybody's obsessed with 9/10 gearing or 9/10 setups on half-mile bikes. It's objectively bad. Do what you want to do. I don't care. But at the end of the day, stock motorcycles or bikes that don't make a lot of power, you have 6 gears in your transmission. Use them. Use all of it. Why shift into 6th gear at the finish line of a half mile? Why shorten your bike so you can't give it all the beans on the hit? So because you can't give it all the beans on the hit, you got to put long-ass gearing on it. Well, you can't extend it because it'll spin because you want to run a street tire instead of a drag radial. Like, are you picking up what I'm putting down here? The ZX10, mine, on a drag max, on stock gearing, relatively light bike, not by full-blown race bike standards anymore, but for what it is, it's a pretty light bike. I'm 150 pounds. The bike makes... The only time the bike's ever been dynoed, and I put that up today, made 178 horsepower. That was on a pretty shitty dyno in terms of it was a DynoJet 250i, your yellow dyno, before it was a brand new dyno that had never been configured or played with, and that's what it made 178 horsepower. It made about 6 more horsepower. At the time, it was a head cam bike when it dynoed it too. A stock engine bike made 172 horsepower. So I could finagle the dyno, which at the time I couldn't figure out because this was going back a while. A guy who ran a car shop bought a motorcycle dyno and didn't know anything about it. So he's like, hey, if you want, you can potentially start tuning bikes out of this shop, which I didn't take it, by the way, obviously. But I was trying to figure out ways to fluff the dyno to make it so the numbers would read a little bit higher, because I even told the owner of the dyno that, listen, we could tune bikes to utter perfection. If they leave here making less horsepower than every other shop with a dyno, no one's going to bring bikes here to get tuned. Unfortunately, that is the bullshit that comes with dynos, is the bias and the understanding that the dyno number trumps all. The performance of the motorcycle doesn't matter. The dyno number does. But I don't want to get down a dyno path because, anyway. Totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, TBN, stock motor, blah, 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 it doesn't matter. So, well, yes, why I got out of the street racing, part of that is just dealing with the nonsense. And nonsense was like, say, I bring the ZX10 out just to have a good time, do some casual racing, and then it's a whole bunch of butthurtness. And now, mind you, no one of those things would ever make me stop doing what I'm doing. Like I said, it's complimentary, but it's also annoying when it's the only thing. The only thing. The other sides of it, I don't want to die on a motorcycle. The older I get, the more I think about that. So what I do want to start doing with motorcycles and racing is doing some legal sanctioned shit. Now, maybe going to some airstrip events, half-mile stuff. Speaking of, congratulations, Brett, Chris, and STPI for setting the official half-mile motorcycle record of 244 miles an hour, 242. Let's find out. It was over 240, I know that. Where is it? .244.69 and a half mile. That is absolutely fucking flying. It's incredible. And yeah. But anyway, so congrats to those guys. That's absolutely fucking flying. Downside to that is that bike is never going to get raced ever again in the street. Nobody is going to race that bike. Guys are trying to go that fast in a mile, and they did it in a half. And the thing about them is that they ET. They don't just eventually get up to speed in a certain distance. They're going to leave you on the hit. And even if they don't leave you on the hit, they're right there with you, and they're going to say bye-bye. So congratulations to those guys. That, to me, is fucking awesome. But anyway, I want to start doing shit like that. Because I built this Busa. It runs pretty good. If you all think the ZX-10 is something special, the Busa absolutely runs over the ZX-10. So I want to start doing shit with that where I go to events and I actually use it. I'm going to have to get fitted for a suit. Now that I'm the size I want to be, I can get fitted for a suit the way I want. That was always a big fear of me not getting a one-piece was getting fitted for a suit when I'm big, losing a bunch of weight and it being baggy. Now I got to worry about the whole if I gain weight, but being this light reminds me of how much I like being in shape and not overweight. Know any good tuners for the 25 RRR? I would say me, but I haven't tuned one yet. I've heard a lot of things about them. So until I get one and experiment with it, I don't know. I should try cycling. I would. I'm not against cycling. I can tell you that I hate weightlifting. But I understand its reasoning. Because again, I grew up doing all of my working out through some form of calisthenics. So, wrestling was always my lifting session. Doing a shit ton of push-ups and then having someone sit on your back and continue to do push-ups. Just stupid shit like that. It's not weightlifting, but I'm using my muscles to lift weight. So, it is. But that being said, though, I hate weightlifting because it's boring. I'm not thinking about the pump. I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about how bored I am lifting weights. So, cycling is at least more fun. Downside is, like everything else, I'm going to spend money on cycling. And I'm going to get hooked. Anything I care about, I spend money on. It sucks. All right, so tuner for CBR Image Racing has one. I just won the shootout. Was that a 25 or was that a 21 to 24 or a 21 to 23? What was the cutoff? What was the change? Let me look it up because they are not the same in terms of. I think you might be right. I think it might be a 25. I know they got some motor revisions for the most recent one, but they are tunable. I just haven't gotten one yet to finagle. I'll consider it Reaper, but I'll be honest with you. It's like one of the I'll look it up. Let me see. What I was saying earlier about I need a break mentally from the street shit, and by a break I mean like a permanent one. I'm sure it was a good time. The road looks cool, despite the road having traction issues. I should say the spot looks cool. Everything about it looks a good time. Okay, so it was 24 to 25 is when they changed. You look small. I'm going to spray you. I'm 145, sir. 145. So you got 100 pounds. Whatever that equates to in spray. Sure. And no, it's not a 100 shot, cheater. But yeah, so the 24 CBR's got a slight motor revision, and they do have different ECUs. Like I said, I'm sure it's fine. I just learned a while back that I no longer want to be the first guy to tune something because you're the beta tester and things are problematic, and you give people, I don't want to say promises, but hopes, and then you can't deliver because the software isn't ready yet, you know? And that's just the nature of it. So I've taken a, second place is first place approach to tuning shit. Once someone else deals with the beta testing, then I'll jump in for the full on launch software. But I haven't tuned to 25 yet. I've tuned a couple of the previous triple R's. But what else? Let me see. Before I continue, I do want to say, are there anything anybody wants to chat about, talk about, stuff like that? I got a couple things I do want to talk about more, about channel-related things. Actually, you know what? While you guys think of potential things you might have to ask, I'll cover some of those things. So, I don't think I'm going to be doing anything next week. From a streaming standpoint, is my ZX10 stock motor. Joe, go play Call of Duty or whatever. Yes, I did tune Rowdy's bike. I am supposed to start remote tuning the new owner of the bike. Hasn't been done yet. Haven't started it yet, so I don't know. We'll see. But and remote tuning is a case by case basis for me because yeah. Anyway, not next week, but what's the date? But the following Monday, November 3rd, I will be starting my full-time streaming sessions. And by full-time, I mean they're probably going to be, I'm going to start at, my goal is going to be 4 hours a day. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to start at 10 a.m. Right now, I'm on a very night owl time frame where I'm up pretty late and I wake up late. So for me, 10 a.m. to start is a good time to start streaming. And then I'll go for about 4 hours. So at about 2 o'clock or so, Eastern Standard Time, of course. And I'll do that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you're going to see basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sim racing. That's going to be my 4 hours worth of stream entertainment, while obviously anybody wants to watch, we're going to talk to. Now, I understand that a lot of you are primarily here for motorcycles. And by a lot of you, I mean probably 99% of you. So some of you might go, all right, you know what? This channel has shifted in a direction that I am no longer interested in. Congratulations, you get to hit unsubscribe. And that's fine. That's fine. I get it. There's a channel for everybody, but think in a sense, Cletus McFarland. What he does, the channel isn't a particular thing. While yes, it does involve motorsports, it's very objectively about him and what he wants to do. It just so happens what he wants to do is all motorsports. But in this case, where this channel is becoming EJR Racing is, like I said earlier, it's taking racing, technology, and video games and combining them into one sort of parallel path for what I can do consistently on this channel. Because here's what I can tell you about motorcycles and YouTube. It's a very, 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 very narrow subject to keep going. The reason why the podcast ended is there's only so many things to talk about with motorcycles before you just feel like you are just talking about the exact same thing with just another person who isn't adding anything to it. No offense, everybody. It's just you can only have the same conversation so many times. So the plan is I am bringing, and I will be making sim racing related videos and content as well. In my opinion, some of you who know nothing about it might find it quite interesting and go, I kind of want to get into that shit. Because I've always wanted to get into sim racing for the longest time. And, well, I just haven't. Just one more thing to do that I haven't done. But once I kind of dipped my toes in the shallow end of sim racing, I decided to sprint around to the deep end and dive in. And that's where I'm at now. And I've just kind of gotten started. I'm good with what I've built now. I'm pretty good for a while, but I've already got my eyes on the future of doing different things. But so I'm going to be streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to start with F125, Formula One. It's been pretty fun so far. I've tried it out. And then in a few weeks after that, I'm going to start, jump over probably to Project Motor Racing, which is more a wider range of different GT and street car-esque. None of them are street cars, but they're all race cars built around street cars. As far as the setup goes, thank you for asking. I'll show you what I played on a sim racing and Micro Center up in Charlotte. It's fun. Yeah, I will say that Micro Center is the greatest store on the planet from my nerdy perspective. So this is what, here, I'll screenshot or show you this. In this picture, the computer is off, but this is, there you go. That's what I'm looking at right now. I'm sitting right here. The mic isn't set up in this picture. And this is my butt kicker amp. There's actually a second amp on top of it right now because the rig has two butt kickers. They are haptics. One of them is right here. But anyway, TV setup, surround sound setup. This is the computer that's currently streaming. This will also be playing the games. This is the PS5 on the wall. This is what like I said, I'm sitting right here and this is what I'm looking at. So let me see. I don't know what I was watching. This is probably a Sim Expo video if I had to guess, because again, awesome. This is the camera right here. This guy. Everything is off in this picture, just for the sake of taking pictures, actually watching TV. But that being said, though, it is pretty wildly addicting, the sim stuff. And yeah, it's kind of, so it's weird because it's almost like things, I don't want to say things happen for a reason, but I would say wanting to get out of street racing so to the point where like I hate to use the word toxic because I feel like it's become a overused word, but because to me personally, not everybody, but to me personally, the street racing scene has become so toxic and needing a way out, but still wanting to race and knowing that sanctioned stuff, there's only so much racing you can do. The amount of times you do anything competitive kind of gets very, very, very infrequent. So what I wanted to do is introduce sim racing to streaming and to YouTube. And then potentially what I was considering doing was starting some form of, I don't want to say league. Now I'm really showing my nerdy colors here, but starting some form of league where you don't have to have a full-blown sim setup. You can have just a controller and play a video game, because at the end of the day, they are still games. Sims are fancy words for games when they're just games that really, really, really simulate real racing. But the reason why I want to get into Project Motor Racing, which isn't out yet, is the ranking setup, the online play. It's going to be a very competitive game. It's going to be the Call of Duty or the Battlefield of motorcycle racing. Of motorcycle racing, of sim racing. So it's going to be a great way to shift racing content to something that is broader and safer for people to do. Now, again, there's going to be some people that go, that's fucking stupid. I want to watch motorcycles go down the road. And I get it. But it is also not practical. So kind of lost my train of thought. But I'm looking forward to doing this. I'm honestly, here's my current state of mind. I'm looking more forward to doing the sim stuff content-wise than motorcycles. It's just a lot of fun. And I can actually record with my Stream Deck right here and just start recording something and it'll record a video. So I'm probably going to essentially offer the ability to get people into some of these events. By events, I mean racing, video game events. and I can record them and make them a video. And this is a great way for being able to gap me, putting in effort, and it being comparable. I'll be honest with you. I'm taking the sim stuff as seriously as if I would a motorcycle race. And I know that sounds ridiculous. But again, I dipped my toe in and then I dove in the deep end. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to be streaming, like I said, 3 days a week. That's just going to be me doing things in games, either career modes, ranked stuff, whatever. That's just going to be there to provide entertaining content, me have a good time, and then I'll clip that into videos and stuff. And I'll also to this. Let me show you this picture. Where is it? So this is coming to Charlotte, and I'm pretty friggin' excited for it. That's bright. Oh, wrong button. Right there. Sim Racing Expo. May 22nd to 24th, Charlotte, North Carolina. The expos are essentially where you go to see the latest and greatest and the coolest new technologies and stuff and blah, blah, blah. They just had one in Germany, Bullmund, Germany, or something. I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend to say it. And it was pretty cool. They unveiled some pretty cool things. They have a Fanatec pedal set that's like shit. There's nothing wrong with the pedals I have. This is actually my second set of pedals already since June, and there's nothing wrong with them. They do everything I want them to do. Fanatec unveiled some pedals, and I'm just like, those look like they're probably going to be 4 figures for a set of pedals, but I want them. Obviously, I'm not going to get them right away. This is actually the next thing I replace, which this is a nice wheel. This is Logitech's track wheel, which you use for like formula racing or any kind of like really, really, really snappy GT car. They just came out with a McLaren rim that comes off of this hub, and this is probably going to go to Rowdy, this guy right here, because he wants one, and all he has to do is be patient. Unfortunately, the McLaren wheel is not coming out until Q1 of 2026, so it is what it is. But this is a very comfortable wheel, and it's probably my favorite wheel to race seriously with. The McLaren one just looks a little different. But that being said, though, if this is something that, well, I'm going to do it either way. But if this is something that you are very interested in, I'm down to give you kind of a hand with it. For now, don't burn me out, because that happened to motorcycles. So much help only went so far before you got sick of it, and But let me go to chat quick here and look at some of the questions and the comments, and then we'll travel back onto that. And it's funny too, because I knew this is what's going to happen for a while with the channel, which I fully expect. The plan is to filter out the people that don't really want to be here to watching this, and just kind of bring in people that are into what I do. Because at the end of the day, the people that I want to talk to are not the people that either love or hate me. I don't care about me. I care about the things that I like doing. And if you like the things that I'm doing and you're all about those same passions, there's a good chance we're going to get along as people. So that's kind of where I'm at with the sim shit. So let's see. Wanted to go back to Vegas. Rowdy says he wanted to Vegas, but for Vegas, the bikes would be a plus. I feel like if I go to Vegas, this is the part that sucks. It's a long drive. I would just fly out there and do some media coverage and stuff, because I'm at a point where I would rather. One thing that I think is missing, and this is also a thing in content that I want to do, that I think is missing from the motorcycle content, but is also, it's a different perspective. So is coming from where I come from. So building and tuning motorcycles, having raced motorcycles for a while, now wanting to step out of that side of it and just focus on covering racing from my perspective. So rather than just being someone who's into it, like for example, the Drag Times guy, he does a great job of covering things, but you can tell he doesn't know anything about what he's covering other than what he's learned talking to people when interviewing them. But you can tell by the way he talks about things, he doesn't know the science of everything. He's just there looking at it. So I kind of want to look at it from a different perspective and stuff like that. But I want to cover all racing. So if I get the opportunity to go to a Formula One event, I'm going to go to Formula One and I'm going to record that shit. And I'm going to make content on that. These are things that I want to do. So if I'm going to show anything to YouTube, content-wise, it's going to be my interests. And my interests are racing. Scooter racing. You want to build some badass Vespas? I'll cover it. I'm down. Anyway, will it just be on YouTube or are you branching out to Twitch? I don't know yet, simply because as of right now, it's going to be primarily YouTube. If I feel that from a financial standpoint, because again, I'm also doing this as a second job. That's why I'm doing it. So I'm diving in so kind of aggressively on it. I don't know if I want to go to Twitch. Quite simply, I don't like Twitch. I don't like politics in general, but I don't like Twitch's politics. They are very, very, very one side of the coin. You can get away with this, but not this. And I want to be in a very neutral, grounded area. And I don't want that stuff to be in the way of content. So I don't know if I want to go, same way I don't want to go to like Rumble or Kick. I feel like YouTube is very neutral ground in terms of you being able to say and do what you want and not be fucking crucified for it. And by that, I mean, I don't mean necessarily politics, because I'm not, like I said, I hate all that shit. I'm just talking about not being worried about tiptoeing around a certain subject because I might offend somebody. So if I want to call someone a fucking loser, I'll be able to do that. And yes, I'm going to be able to do that on Twitch, but I don't know about Twitch yet. The problem with Twitch is arguably the absolute best live streaming service. YouTube doesn't even hold a candle to it. The thing is that I like YouTube better, and I'm also established on it. I'm not established on Twitch. I have a Twitch account. It's a 0 subscriber there to watch type thing, and I did it like 10 years ago, and I haven't looked at it since. Playing the sim racing motion, yep, saw that. Streaming any legit sanctioned race events or streaming PC builds and tests. I don't know if I'll do PC building on the channel as much as I like doing it. It's because it's not, I'm trying to do racing adjacent content. So sim racing, while it is computer, video game, sim, and it's technology, it's a racing thing. Like, because I experimented with Call of Duty a little bit in streaming and stuff, and like, you only get the only people that they like you, they like what you do, and they like Call of Duty. And there's not a lot of those people. So, plus, I really don't like Call of Duty. I just did it because it's the way to hang out with friends. It is so many deals. Built my second gaming PC, shopping strictly from there. Win Gamer, by the way. Thank you, sir. Thank you. This room is so much more of a passion to me than my garage. Evan got one, and then 3 weeks later, he got one. No regrets. Yep. Ooh, something that's insane. Talk about a man cave. What is the cost of a decent sim setup? 2,500 is a decent setup. 3,000 up is almost top tier. Yeah, I would agree. The thing about sim racing is I would say 2,500 to 3,000 gets you 90% of or I should say 95 to 99% of the skill set, meaning no form of hardware past that money spent is ever going to make you better at sim racing. But where you can spend thousands upon thousands upon thousands after that is trying to emulate real racing and making it feel like real racing. Like I just said, I just did a front and rear butt kicker on this thing, which throws haptics from telemetry from the game or the sim. And it essentially, duplicates rumble strips, gear shifts, everything like that to make you feel like when I'm racing an F1 car, the car turns on, I feel the rumble of the car in the rig. Now, I don't have motion. I'm on the fence about motion down the road. I'm not going to do it anytime soon. It's extremely expensive, but it's also, my current setup also acts as like sort of a movie room. So getting this thing on motion is going to put it up probably a good 5 to 6 inches more in the air. Now I'm going to be blocking some of my TV when I'm sitting on the couches. So for me to go motion, I would really have to build myself a dedicated sim room, and I don't want to do that. I want just a general room for games, movies, sim racing, editing videos, doing stuff in general, and that's my room. I don't have to do anything else in the house related. That is my paradise. So I probably won't go motion. The only way I could go motion is if I went with a very, very, very low profile of motion that only had like maybe an inch to an inch and a half of actual travel. But even then, it's going to raise the rig up, and I really don't have any room to raise it up at all without blocking the TV for the couches. So as you can see, there's one couch here. Right there behind me, that's one of them. And there's one right there too, and they're angled, as you saw in the picture, like this towards the TV. I don't want to block the couch's perspective of the TV because I like my movies too. Yep, Rowdy's setup was $2,500. Same setup as Evan, not the chair rig he's sitting in. So I've gotten into the bougie, not the bougie, but I'm at about double that right now. So I'm at close to about, I'd have to do the math, but I'm probably close to about 6,000 in just the sim setup. That's not the computer, that's not the PS5, that's not the TV, that's not the sound system, that's none of that shit, because that stuff is all independent. That's just the sim stuff. But I heavily expanded what I'm doing with this stuff. Like just that's including the second panel, because I have a panel right here. It's a cheap panel. It's only like $100 panel, but it's just big, and it's an 18-inch panel, just big enough for me to be able to monitor my stream and stuff like that. I got this rig. The rig that Rowdy has right now was my previous one, which is the rig that I recommend for basically everybody who wants to do this, that wants to do it from just a pure fun standpoint. They're not trying to stream. You can stream with it, but you're not trying to stream. You're not trying to do anything wild. You just want a good, solid rig that's pretty lightweight and movable, and that supports the strong wheels, the force feedback wheels and stuff like that. I want to say that rig's about $500 to $600. The one I'm sitting in right now is about, it's $1,200 retail. I got it for $100 off, but then I added all the accessory bundle with it. So the shifter mount, the keyboard and mouse mount that you can get for it. I want to say that added like $350 more to it. I got one sequential shifter. I got an e-brake. Obviously on my paddles. I have 4 wheels, and I have my other, the wheel that kind of comes with this thing that I use for like guests or my girl when she wants to play. She uses that one. She just wants a regular size wheel. But it's very easy to spend a lot more money. For example, these pedals I have, they cost $380 for all 3 pedals. The Simucube one, Simucube is pretty much the flagship. Like, if you're trying to spend as much money as possible on technically the best shit, but a lot of it is like you're paying for some of the brand too. And when you're number one, you can kind of charge whatever the fuck you want, and people are going to buy it because you're catering to a certain demographic of market. But each pedal is like $2,500. So you're talking $7,500 if you want to brake, clutch, and throttle. Yeah. So it's very easy to spend a lot of money on this shit. But the 6,000 or so that I've spent is like, we're good, you know? Now, there are things that I'm probably going to want down the road that will increase that, but like where I spent so much more money on this was, again, the ability to attach things. I knew I wanted to stream doing this stuff, and I needed to be able to add the mouse, keyboard, the panel, and all this stuff, and not worry about the lightweight rig not being able to necessarily support all of this stuff coming off of it. I have the rig sitting on an extrusion frame, which is you can bolt things to it. That's what I have the haptics bolted to and stuff. I could talk about this stuff till I'm blue in the face and bore half of you to death. So let me go on with chat, and then we'll carry on a little bit here. The water, yes. CPU and GPU will be your most expensive components. For a computer, yes. You don't, but I mean, like I said, I wasn't including those in the sim. My video card's a 5090, which was half of my sim. So you don't need that to sim. I have that because that's where I spend my money most egregiously is not motorcycles, it's on technology. How many times have I gapped Rowdy on the sim? We're pretty comparable. I think I'd say the only advantage I have on him is that I have just more hours in. So by the time he gets into a game, I've got a solid amount of hours in it. And like, for example, right now we shifted over to F1. He's got maybe an hour 2 hours tops in F1. I'm at, I want to say, let me look right now. I've been enjoying F125 a lot. I'm at 44 hours in. So that's not too much, but when you have 1 to 2 hours playing something you've never played before versus 44 hours, you're only getting better in that time, you know? So I don't keep a tally on that stuff. My goal is to just have fun. I get gapped, and the biggest thing is I spent all of my time in Gran Turismo. And while I think it's one of the most developed racing games, it's also a bit too arcadey to be competitive with. But it is still fun. It's still fun. CPU interview, I got that one. Damn it, I can't get into. Yes, you can. You can get into sim stuff now too. I promise. If you've ever liked video games, if you've ever liked racing, and you've ever liked anything technology, and you probably can leave out the technology one, I'm just saying sim racing is a blast. And now if you're into, say, racing, and you're into technology, but you don't really like playing racing games, like they're just not for you, like me. I bought Gran Turismo 3 years ago, Gran Turismo 7, played it for about an hour. Not even. On controller. Didn't care. No interest. I'm not driving a car like this. I just no interest. If I'm going to use a controller, I'm going to play a storyline single player game that's got me invested into the story, and that's my focus, is the story, not the gameplay. Shooters, mouse and keyboard. A lot of games, mouse and keyboard. There are some games that I prefer on controller, but they're few and far between. So that was when I was saying I got the cheaper Logitech wheel, and I experienced steering and force feedback. Game over. Bye-bye thousands of dollars. I'm in. And all of a sudden, a game that I didn't give a shit about became the only thing I wanted to do with my spare time, was play Gran Turismo. That's the power of sim racing right there. And also liking racing. Let's see. 10 out of 10, smoke anyone in some scoot racing. I'll buy one tomorrow. Who's in? Rowdy will. Rowdy will absolutely buy it, for sure. Understand what you mean. Nah, Facebook live streaming or TikTok. I don't know if I can do TikTok, man. I could do Facebook streaming, although I hate Facebook too. I kind of think it's like MySpace now. It's kind of dead. You know, I don't like Twitter or X, but I don't know, man. It's just all the things I think about. It's like, man, YouTube is probably the hardest one to make any kind of living on, but it's the only one I want to do it on. Go figure. I want to take the hard way out, not the easy way, and suffer. Facebook or TikTok, he would make his most money on. Well, I'll consider like content stuff, but streaming for now, I'm going to stick to probably YouTube. Although Streamlabs now offers multi-platform streaming fairly, easily. You'll smoke you on how I smoked you on COD. I need help setting one up. Homie, you're going to get used to game control. You're going to play a game on controller for, let's just say, years, say a racing game. And then you're going to get behind the wheel, and all of a sudden you're going to be like, yo, I am 10 times worse than I was on controller. Rowdy, when he was on controller on Gran Turismo, could kick my ass with me on the sim. Then he got onto a sim, and it was like relearning how to do everything all over again. So, and not to mention too, Gran Turismo is probably not the best game for controller versus sim, because Gran Turismo favors controller because it's essentially built to be a game console controller game. So, for example, there are a couple cars that are super oversteer spin happy so let's just say I'm trying to turn left and the ass kicks out. I have to do this to counter steer to control the car. On a controller, you're turning left. All you have to do to go completely the opposite direction with the wheels is do this. I have to do this. So from a control standpoint, the controller kind of has the advantage. It's kind of like how in Call of Duty, the guy with the controller has aim assist. He has an advantage that the mouse and keyboard guy does not. So what I'm trying to say is, Tuna, if you want a chance at smoking me, you better learn on controller, or you better have a controller skill set, because It's going to be a minute on you know, Sim. Yes, it is Jumpin' Joe, James. It is Jumpin' Joe. PC gaming get... Oh, God, this chat keeps on jumping around. PC gaming gets expensive fast. It does. James, thank you for the $2.50, sir. I appreciate it. What's my thoughts on Will Huff's ZX14R bike? I mean, honestly, I don't know anything about it. I know it's a Turbo 14. It looked like it was pretty fast. I think it got hurt, which all fast bikes eventually break. I don't know if I was a fan of how he did his content with the whole troll rage baiting stuff. I really don't like any of that stuff, but I don't know him from a hole in the wall, so I really can't say how his personality is. But the bike itself, it seemed pretty fast. 5090 yep. I'm running a 4070 Super. Nothing wrong with a 4070. You don't need a 5090. No one does, unless you're just convincing yourself you do, like me. Can't drive in real life, so why would I play a racing game? I'm just gonna crash. Well, look on the bright side. You can crash in the sim and not actually die. I do, there is. Remember the games that you would intentionally crash, like Burnout and Burnout Paradise and stuff? There needs to be a dedicated max effort sim that simulates crash physics. No racing, nothing matters. It's just a free roam crash physics game. That would be so fun. There are games out there that are worth streaming. I am going to put up some what you guys might want to see on stream from a racing sim standpoint. There's definitely going to be some die-hard competitive racing going on. That's where I really want to focus. But I also kind of want to focus on some goofy shit too. So just from a pure entertainment standpoint. Like, for example, I wish I hit record, but I didn't. I got Jumpin' Joe into F125 for the first time, and I left the rules on. So you can play without rules, meaning you can cut corners, you can crash into people, that stuff. Well, none of that matters. You can do whatever you want. Or you put the rules on, it follows, FIA F1 rules. And he didn't make it a lap without getting disqualified. I think he racked up like a 25 seconds worth of time penalty before they just said, sorry, you're out of this race, buddy. But it was hysterical. It was just him raging every time a turn or a car hit the brakes and he fucked up and got a penalty. It was, I wish I had it recorded. That shit like that is worth recording and putting on the internet. One of the best games ever is Gran Turismo. As a game, yes. From a pure racing simulation standpoint, no. It's an arcade game. It's the only racing game I have played so far, with the exception of Forza, but they're kind of built the same, that makes me feel like there is a random number generator built into the algorithm for the handling physics, where I'll do something 10 times and for no reason the car's not doing what it just did. And I'm not talking about tire wear or things like that. I'm talking about turn all that shit off. I take the same turn 10 times for some reason. This time the car wants to oversteer and crash, and it wasn't just doing that. First, I'm like, well, maybe it's a skill thing. Maybe it's me. Maybe I've put so many hours into this game that I am taking the physics for granted and pushing it too hard. But then I play other games like Assetto Corsa, Automobilista, F1, which is arguably an arcade game that does a really good job of simulating F1. 10 out of 10 times, I am in control. So it really feels like it is the game's fault. But that being said, I had a lot of fun on Gran Turismo. I beat it to death. I'm waiting for Gran Turismo 8 or a PC release of Gran Turismo 7 because I need to play on PC. What is up, Nick? How you doing, sir? You'll gap me all on controller? You will. You are probably one of the best guys I know on controller right now. What's the best sim game I've played so far? The game I've spent the most amount of time in is objectively Gran Turismo. Had a lot of fun doing that, but I think it's the worst racing sim, like I said. I think of the games I've played so far that was the best simulation was ACC, which is Assetto Corsa Competizione. The original Assetto Corsa is supposed to be one of the best ones ever done, simply because of modability. But I've never really got into it. But ACC, Assetto Corsa Competizione, is all GT3 cars. That's the one complaint about the game, is it is strictly GT cars and primarily GT3 cars, which are fun, but there's not a whole lot of variety there. And what I was actually considering doing is, depends on the time. We're an hour in, so we're not too bad. I might jump on the sim and show you guys some things on the process. The diehards will probably still stay on, and the people who don't give a shit will probably go to bed. That's fine. Have I ever tried iRacing? No. iRacing is the end game, and by that I mean when there is no path for me to go for competitive racing, then I'll go to iRacing. The reason why I don't want to go to iRacing is I don't like the subscription model, and I don't like the fact that you have to buy everything in the game. It is essentially a microtransaction lover's paradise. But it is objectively the world's most competitive simulation in existence. But do I think it's the best one because of that? No. But that being said, if I want a chance at racing Max Verstappen or any of the guys out there that have ever sim raced, it's got to be iRacing. That's what they do. So from that standpoint, it is objectively speaking the best sim racer from a competitive standpoint. My nose is super itchy. Someone must be talking shit. But I'm not against iRacing. There's a few things I want to go down the path I want to go. Like, again, I really want to get into project motor racing. That game is, here's a big part too, because I want to do this from a streaming standpoint. The game also needs to be on console and crossplay. The reason why is a big part of me wanting to do, say, the league stuff. I'm ruling out so many people that could have a good time if you can't get the game on console. Now, I don't want to play the games on console. I have a PS5 Pro and I have my computer. But my computer is, the PS5 Pro is great for what it is. But anyway. It's a lot easier for me to stream when I'm playing on computer too. I have everything to capture Gran Turismo, anything on PS5 and stream that, but it's more involved, and I'm very lazy. And I spend a lot of time dialing this setup in to be super convenient. Hell, I even got a headset, the Astro A50, the newest one, that has multi-platform switching with this button. So I basically hit this button and all of my audio transfers to this from the computer. If I hit it again, it can go to the PlayStation. Anything you have plugged into the dock, this will just siphon through the things. So basically what I'm trying to say is, from where I'm standing right now, I can turn my PlayStation on, I can put my headset on, and I can just go back and forth without having to get up. Again, laziness goes into everything I do. Since I'm not racing anymore, can you do product reviews that works and what doesn't, tires, filters, etc.? I will consider doing more entry-level stuff, like the basic stuff. But bottom line is this. If I can't get y'all to buy the right tire, is there any point for me to actually do reviews on anything? Because clearly, people don't want to listen. When there is this massive argument between a street tire and a drag radial on which one hooks better, I'm already checked out. That's like saying a drag max hooks better than a flat slick, or bias ply, depending on what world you're from. No, it objectively does not. End of conversation. You just don't understand what's happening behind the scenes to make, if I had a shot, dried up, hardened up piece of shit drag max on my bike and I put a brand new Q5 on it, there's a good chance the Q5 is going to hook better. But you don't compare an old ass shitty fucking drag max to a brand new Q5. You compare a brand new drag max to a brand new Q5. That is how you determine which tire works better. Simple things like that, people struggle to rule out. And then they will pass their opinion off as, if so facto, this is the rules. And you want to know why my bike runs like it's got a fucking motor in it? It's because I do things like put a drag max on it. I put the bike longer than 3 to 4 inches over, and I gear it to zing the rev limiter in 6th gear for the finish line. Now, I don't do that with the Busa, because the Busa wants to kill me. I still got a lot of work to do with getting the Busa to leave. Realistically, the Busa needs to be a good amount longer to the point where I don't know if I want to deal. I mean, like I said, I'm not really racing on the street anymore, so there's a good chance you'll see the Busa get longer. How much longer? I don't know, because I do want to race. I'm on the fence about if I want to do any mile or even land speed shit with the Busa. I know I want to do a lot of different things with the Busa. So they're like, if I ever considered land speed, well, that's going to counter the setup that's going to make the bike a max effort quarter to half mile ET bike. So I want to pick a lazy man's whatever setup. So that might be what it is right now, unfortunately. And I just have to deal with the fact that I can't use all the power in first gear. It is what it is. But we'll see. We'll see what the right now, though, the 10 doesn't have power. So it doesn't make any sense to take a bike that doesn't really make power and soften it up because you don't want to set it up properly to use all the motor in first gear. Like, Artie, as fast as two-wheel monster is, if Artie would just listen to me for 5 minutes and not debate, and I'm sorry to throw you under the bus right now, but you're not the only one, and just set aside all the stubbornness and just do what I say. Make the bike longer. Put the bike on a drag radial, either drag max or a hookup, whichever one you need. A hookup's going to probably hook a little bit better, but it's a heavier tire. I'll take the traction over the weight. There's that argument. But the point is, you're going to use one of those tires. I recommend the drag max if the drag max is enough. If you need a step stickier, go to a hookup pro. But anyway, so one of those two tires, make the bike 6 inches over plus. I say plus because it's a stock motorbike. If the bike stays down, like my 10 is 6 over on the money. And I make a little bit more power than a stock motor Gixxer, but it's a little heavier too, which does help it stay down. So there's that argument. But that being said, gear the bike first. I lied. Second. Put a tire on it first. Gear the bike to run all 6 gears in your distance. So if it's a half mile, and I know I'm racing from a lower mile an hour. Now, if you're doing a 60 roll, I guess this doesn't really matter anymore because you're so far out of worrying about if you're in the power or not. It doesn't matter. In fact, you got to, like my Busa, absolutely has to start in second gear from 60 miles an hour. My 10 is right there on that edge where, like, man, starting in first gear at 60, first of all, it's going to be really hard to make a perfect pass because I'm going to hit the throttle, hold on tight, and then immediately have to shift. It's better to start in second gear. Speaking of better to start in second gear, here, this is what I mean. This is me on the 10 on pump gas. I want to say, what was it's cut off in this picture. DA, I want to say was about 1700 for reference. So this here is me on the 10. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. Yeah, put me on there. Me on the 10. The 60 to 130s. 100 to 150. I go 60 to 150 because I only do a couple gears because I have a nice little straight that can get me really good short race data. And it's nice and flat. These are 2 runs. Now I only did 2 runs. I don't do 800 runs and cherry pick. I only did 2 runs. I didn't even leave the main screen. And I screenshotted it and went home. I rode out to my spot, started in second gear, made a pass, slowed down, turned around, in the same stretch of road, made it on the way back. We are 1/100th of a second difference in 2 passes. So, ignoring the consistency, because consistency is how you win races, the point is 329 and 330, 60 to 130, starting in second gear. Geared to run the half mile, mind you. This would not do this 60 to 130 if I was geared for 9/10 leaving in second gear, by the way. It would leave a lot lazier. But it's only able to do this because it's geared for the half mile. But the point is, if I can go 3.2 on pump gas, and I was about 10 pounds heavier than I am right now. Bike is identical. Bike has not changed. If I could do that out of second gear from 60, and the best I could probably do starting in first gear, this number might drop to a 3.1. I might drop a 10th off of this, a 10th and a half at most, starting in first gear. Do you have any idea how hard the bike is going to be from 60 miles an hour to shifting at about 88 to 90 miles an hour to pull that shift off? There is a good chance for the simple tenth of a second that I might get, I lose it by tapping the limiter, because when you tap a limiter, you lose like a quarter of a second. And I don't mean hitting the limiter hard. I mean just kissing it. So for me, if I'm on my 10 and you want to do a 60 roll, I'm just starting in second gear. And I'm going to fucking look at you the whole time, and I'm going to sip a coffee as I leave, because the bike leaves easy. Anyway, point of that was, setting the bike up. Gear the bike to use all 6 gears in a half mile. Then make sure you have that includes the tire, because you need the tire. The reason why I say the tire first is because the tire is a sprocket, essentially. You have you have the front sprocket, you have the rear sprocket, and you have the overall diameter of the tire, or technically the radius, but whatever. Size of the tire affects your overall top speed. And you want to gear the bike to make the finish line. And then you lengthen it to whatever it takes for your bike's weight and setup to be able to snap the throttle as hard as you possibly can, and the bike go straight. It doesn't spin, it doesn't wheelie. It might tote the front tire, that's okay, as long as you never choke up on that throttle. You are locked, and you pull off the shift. You're good. That is how you ET a bike in the half mile with a stock engine. Big motors, it gets a little more challenging, but stock engines are objectively easy. And when I have guys, the reason why I say right now the ZX10 scene in general, the scope of it is so much slower than it was when I was super competitive with it, is because these things that I just mentioned are called the basics. And at some point, 9/10 racing got so popular that it became the setup. So everybody builds a 9/10 setup bike, but they all race half mile. So the overall short race of all the racing got way, way, way slower. So now when you see me leaving people for dead, when you see a stock wheelbase bike racing a bike with a swing arm, and the stock wheelbase bike leaves with the bike, that's how you know the guy with the swing arm's doing shit wrong. All I'm saying. If I know for a fact, if you are on a stock arm against me on my 10, you're chasing me, no matter what. I could probably give you the hit and immediately go around you, and then if you have a faster bike, you got to walk around me. I guarantee you I leave you on the hit. And that is all because of short ET setup. And now if you gear the bike and it can't make the finish line, like I can tell you right now with my 10, if I go up an extra tooth in the rear, the bike will be slower A to B, which the A to B is the half mile distance. It might leave a tiny bit faster or quicker or better, whatever the word is you want to use to be grammatically correct. It might get out a little bit better, but it's going to lose it on the big end. And one thing you will see in a lot of videos with me when I start racing, like say some of the faster bikes or the faster stock, like say Two Wheel Monster, that M1K guy, those guys that objectively have a good amount of power and a very, very, very good setup bike. Like Artie's bike doesn't make the power, but it makes up for it with aero. Not the weight. The weight is the weight. You would be shocked how much weight stops mattering after 150. The atmosphere has so much forward pressure that your bike weighs so much more than what you actually think it weighs on the scale, or know it weighs whatever on the scales, that it no longer matters if your bike's 20 or 30 pounds lighter. That matters in the beginning of the race. That's what gets you going. So Artie's advantage up top is that he has a lot of time into aero and mile an houring the bike. But you will see bikes like, say, the Ducati, or even bikes that might make a little less power but are geared taller, start to always catch my ZX10 at the very, very end of the race. And yes, some of it is power. The Ducati does objectively make more power than my ZX10, but his bike is still coming through the end of the half mile making peak power. My bike is petering over and rolling over because I'm using 100% of my RPM in 6th gear to make the finish line. I'm crossing at like roughly 14.7, 14.8 in 6th gear at the finish line at the half mile. Now, what do y'all know about ZX10 motors, or any stock motor for that matter? They all make a lot less power at 14.8 than they do at like 13.5. So basically, my power curve, if you're looking at it this way, is going up, peaks, and then it rolls over for that last 1500 RPM or so. And that's what I'm accelerating with at the hardest point to accelerate, the highest mile an hour. So my bike is nosing over. So what's to stop me from bumping my rev limiter up a little bit and put another tooth on it? Well, I could do that. But the problem is, let's just say I'm now crossing at like 15,000 RPM. I'm making even less power for a longer period of time at the end of the race. So that will actually offset negatively the start of the race, the little bit that I might gain. So yes, when I say right now my gearing is perfect for my half mile setup, it is fucking perfect. A sprocket tooth up or down in either direction, while won't have a big effect on anything, will slow the bike down. Period. It was a long tangent, wasn't it? Point is, the basics have been forgotten. I miss them. Need a 7th gear. Maybe. That would solve everything. I mean, they do it in cars now. They all got 10 speeds and shit like that. Yo, my guy, let's go. What up, sir? You're early. I thought you were streaming, sir. Are you still streaming? But anyway, so I will say that I will be back to like the content of the primary focus of the channel itself. I will be flushing out things that I want to do for content on this channel. Streaming set in stone 3 times a week, starting at 4 hours a day. That might grow longer period of time over time, depending on how well the 4 hours goes. Like if it's 4 hours and no one's there and I'm bored, then I'm probably gonna leave it at 4 hours. But if it's like one of those things where at the end of 4 hours, I'm still good, I got nothing to do else, I'll go longer, and people are there or whatever. But I do want to start a sim racing league. I have not a whole lot of time figuring that shit out yet, because I've actually spent more of my time focusing on getting this stuff ready to do this part of the venture. But thoughts on subscriber submitted. I am actually 100% for that. The reaction part takes more time. I am definitely going to be allowing people to, if they want, it's entirely up to them, if they want to submit their racing videos to be posted on my channel. There were a few channels a while back that had a lot of good luck doing it. Feels a lot like being a thief because you're using other people's content. Even if you have, like, I would normally do that for like bikes that I've tuned or something like that, but like I might just open it up to everybody, because if you're willing to, like, let's just say you have a YouTube channel and you want to grow your channel and mine's bigger at the time or whatever, and you want to submit a video of you, I have absolutely no problem putting a video up as long as it's racing. I'm not going to share like you doing things, but if it's a racing video, I will happily put the video up. And I will do a shout out to your channel if you want. Like, I'm fine with that shit. That none of that. YouTube is so big and so massive. There is zero reason to be competitive with content. Zero reason. So I was thinking about doing that. I did do the review stuff one time. I was very happy with the video. It got a lot of good feedback. It just didn't get a lot of views. So ultimately, I'm going to do my content regardless of views, but at the end of the day, if I'm going to approach this from hey, this is going to be half of my life career, obviously the other half is EJR performance, it needs to show in the financial side of things. Now, it doesn't have to be big. I'm not chasing some like, I gotta be a millionaire. I don't care, but I really don't care. This is fun for me, and that's how I want it to stay forever. The last thing I want is this to be like a grind where I'm sweating, I'm stressed, because that's already the EJR performance shit. That shit stresses me out. Having to micromanage every customer to make sure that they're not doing stuff that I would think that the average person would know not to do, that they just don't know, because I have to remind myself that everybody starts from ground zero, and I don't know where that person is that I'm getting in their career doing this. So it can be very stressful when I miss something that might be like, hey, don't do this, because I just made the assumption that they already know that. Duh. That's like 101 shit. Well, it's 101 stuff for me, but maybe not for the masses. So anyway, the EJR performance stuff is very stressful. Whereas this, I want to keep strictly fun and it not rely on other people essentially to work. Now, obviously, you guys being here, you guys chatting, you guys wanting to submit videos, you guys maybe wanting to get into, say, the sim racing league shit. That's obviously all stuff that's going to help. And that would be all stuff that I would very much appreciate. But the channel will go on with or without that stuff. It'll just be better with it. But I wish I could almost have everybody come by, which is not practical, and just sit in this thing and play some games they've already played. Like, let's say it's a game you've only ever played on controller, and you enjoy it, but whatever. Get in this if you enjoyed it on that. This is going to be like, holy shit, I need to do this. I knew I wanted to do this before I ever did it, and it was still shocking how much fun it was on my tiny little cheap wheel with a stand sitting on that couch behind me. And that's when I'm like, I gotta get a rig. I gotta build it. So this shit's a lot of fun. I highly recommend. 10 out of 10. I already want to build another one. And I have no reason to. I love what I've got. And I already want to build another one because the grass is always greener. I want experience doing this shit. And maybe, just maybe, this will expand into maybe I'll build people rigs. I don't know. The sky is the fucking limit. Anyway. Arturo, what's up? Are you back in action? Yes and no. Yes, but then followed by an immediate week and a half of nothing. So this, I was just doing this week, not doing it next week, to discuss the stream that's coming, and I'm going to put up more about this. My website is what needs to get updated. That's going to require a little bit of time with Matt, because Matt with the 1441 Busa, he's my website guy. We have to remove. We're going to turn the podcast part of the site. Let me actually take a look at it quick. All right, so this section. One thing I will say about having a super small keyboard is when you got to use the F keys, you got to use the FN key to activate them. It's a learning curve of using a small keyboard like this. I'm missing so many keys. I'm used to having a 10 keyless, but without the F keys and the arrows, it's like I don't even know what to do on this thing. Because every key now has a double meaning. But anyway, so this is the current website. This is the part of the website that's got to change. So right now, you've obviously got the home, services, all this stuff. I do have to update real-world tuning and ECU flashing because there needs to be a better clarification as to what ECU flashing is and what real-world tuning is by comparison to the dyno. I also need to do some section explaining, which I could probably put in the FAQ section, but I want to put it on here too, to explain the differences between dyno tuning and real-world tuning and why dyno tuning is inferior. Objectively speaking, there are reasons that a dyno is good to have, but it's none of which the environment of making the power. I fucked up how I said that, but those of you who know what I mean. Anyway, this section here, the podcast, this is going to get changed over to probably EJR Racing, and this is going to be dedicated to the details of the YouTube channel. And this here is, even though it looks like a drop down, this is literally just a one click that goes right to my YouTube channel. So this will be the YouTube channel, click, and then this will be EJR Racing, or maybe I'll just remove this and put it as the first bullet point under EJR Racing, and this will be all the details. As far as the podcast goes, I think this ship has possibly sailed. We will see. Reason why I say that is because Adam and I have talked a few times now. Where are we? And we have an idea for him. I don't know if he's going to do it because he's a very busy person, and I don't want to put all that on him. But it was something that he was very interested in doing. But essentially doing sort of like a road show for just Adam, where basically Adam goes to different places and does like these specials on people, shops, a racer, whoever it is, and interviews them, tours their facility or tours their livelihood or whatever like that. And he does his own specific show, and they're videos. They're not live streams. There are not going to be, if we do any podcasts, I will say they will be pre-recorded moving forward. The live stream isn't the only time we will be live. Is I might do some Q&As from time to time out of either boredom or if I think one is deserved. But for the most part, live streams will be streaming. The Monday, Wednesday, Friday sim racing stream. That will be what live is. Adam might do his show where he goes and interviews people. I think that's a great idea. It's a way for him to sort of expand his own brand. And it will be his baby. We will put it on my channel. And the benefits of me is that it will be eyes looking at my YouTube channel. And his benefit was he will obviously get all of any kind of finances that come specific. It's a lot easier to figure out how to pay someone when it's a specific video that they did. This is your video. Any revenue this video gets, that goes to you. It's a lot easier to log like that. Whereas when we were doing the podcast doesn't make any money anyway. Live streams really don't. So it's like, I'll buy you a cheeseburger every week. That's about and I'll buy myself 2 cheeseburgers. It's one of those things. Whereas this way, it'll be a lot easier. It'll be his baby. And then if it does grow big enough, then he can have his own dedicated YouTube channel. And that will be, so it's one hand washes the other type scenarios. But again, those are just early talks. What I do know is the streaming stuff is a definitive me dialing in content that is going to be the next few months. But I know I want to do the Sim Racing League. And by Sim Racing League, it'll probably just be I got to figure out what I want to call it. But it will be, I don't want to say Sim Racing League because I don't want to think that you have to have a sim to do it. The reason why I want to do something like, say, Project Motor Racing, I need water, is because it will be console, PC, crossplay, wheel, and controller support. And it's looking like, now mind you, it hasn't come out yet, so grain of salt, but it's looking like it's going to be a pretty die-hard competitive racing game where no hooliganism, no stupid shit. It's just die-hard. I want to race. I want to be ranked. There's going to be different classes of cars. They're going to have licenses and rankings that follow each class of cars. So let's just say I'm really good at GT3 cars and I'm rank, I don't know, A. But I've never driven a Le Mans car before. So I'm going to jump into a Le Mans lobby and go race some guys online that are in a Le Mans car. Or an LMP car, I should say. My license or rank A from my GT car doesn't follow me into Le Mans, and now I'm in a car that I have no real experience with racing guys that are ranked. It's individual. To me, that's a massive plus. I'm diehard looking forward to this game because it's the exact game I want and need for fun and competition and that mix of both, because I'm a very competitive person, but I also like having fun. One without the other is a lot less than both. So if I'm having fun doing something, but like, for example, fun without the competition would be like, let's just say I brought my booth out to a stock motorcycle race day. And I don't mean stock motor, I mean stock motorcycle. And it was like child's play bully session. It's fun, but it's not competitive, so it's not as fun. It's just, I'm here. It is what it is. Whereas competition, without any fun, well, that's self-explanatory. I'm not having fun. So why do I care? Other than that, just trying to fuel my ego, maybe? I don't know. I need both. That's what I'm addicted to. The combo of both. That's what motorcycle were for me for the longest time. The fun kind of went away, and just the competitive side took over of other people, which drew the fun out of it. And it got so just kind of blah that I kind of got over it, you know? But anyway, I don't want to beat that dead horse. So let's see. What platform would you use for a sim league? All of them. The idea is that it's going to be, I'm going to be using a computer. primarily. But the idea is that we only do racing games or sims. I hate saying games because it makes it's the same way like when you say you're going to play soccer, you're going to play football, but I wrestled. You couldn't say I'm going to go play wrestle. No, you just go wrestled. Or you just go and wrestle. So it's the same way with the sim thing where it's like, I don't want to call it a game because I feel like that takes something away from it. So calling it a sim makes it sound a little bit more effort and professional. But either way, it's still a game. But that being said, I want to do only strictly games that are cross-platform. Because I want it to be, I hate to use the word inclusive because I feel like that word's gotten a bad rep for the past few years. But something that's more inclusive to get people doing it. Quantity of people having a good time. That's what I'm always about. It's almost impossible to do that in the street these days. So, Project Motor Racing. If Gran Turismo comes to PC, boom, that's one of them. Forza is dead and buried. It's never coming back. Maybe Forza Horizon 6. Maybe they'll pull off something. We'll see. Because I know a lot of guys on PlayStation and I know a lot of guys on Xbox that they don't have certain, like for instance, Assetto Corsa. This is what's annoying. I have Assetto Corsa Competizione on PS5 and PC. They are not cross-platform. Big miss. But it's built as a dedicated sim, so I get it. But I'm not a sim racer, but if you need a guy for Warzone Battlefield 6, I'm in. I'll let you know on Battlefield 6, but those games will likely stay off of stream. Maybe I'll do, if this ever gets big enough to the point where I would do something along the lines of, say, like a charity stream or something like that. I don't even want to consider that shit yet because that's for people who are successful. I am not successful on YouTube. I am just here. But if it ever came to like bonus stuff like that where there was a reason to, like, I will say this, there will probably be some Grand Theft Auto 6 streamed in the future. We got a while to wait for that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see. NBA car racing games going the way motorbike games. They are dying, to be honest. You got a typo in there, so I'm not sure what you're saying. I will say this is I can't speak to motorcycle games because I've played all the rides. I hate them. They're not fun. The physics don't feel real at all. Obviously, you're playing on a controller. They did start. There's only a few of them out there, motorcycle sims, but I'm good. I don't care. I like everything. I know I'm in the industry of motorcycles, so there's always seems to be like from the people who follow me, a focus on motorcycles. But like when it comes to racing, the actual act of racing, I don't give a fuck about what we're racing. Scooters, motorcycles, fucking jets, jet skis, horses, cars, trucks, whatever the fuck. Everything except feet. I don't run. I'm not a runner. But I see a lot of you guys always filming foot races, so clearly racing is racing. And that's what this is going to be about. This channel's not, it's going to, I would say the main two subjects on this channel moving forward are going to be divided by motorcycles and sim racing. Those are going to be the top two categories that I focus on. Just because, obviously, motorcycles is my business. Sim racing is my latest and greatest big hobby that I'm super into. That is also a racing thing. And there will be, piggyback things off of that. Car racing. I don't want to follow some car racing stuff. I'm going to try and go to car events. Not the stupid shit. Sorry. But when I left cars was when Stance was starting. And I haven't really looked at it since. So I'm good with that. It's got to be a racing thing. Now, mind you, it doesn't mean street stuff. I will cover street stuff. I'm not leaving the street. I am just not partaking. But get some brightness back in here. What else? Oh, this is completely off subject, but something I wanted to say. I hid the name for obvious reasons. But there is an expression, and that is, don't interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. Obviously, the past couple days, not calling anybody my enemy intentionally, but that's just the expression. But the past couple days, there's obviously been some professional level drama that I got brought up in, that I don't even want to mention by name because I don't care, that also brings in the bad publicity is good publicity thing. And I always try and tell people all the time, don't waste your time, because you're giving that person what they want, and it's actually helping me. When someone goes so far into the realm of making a mistake to hurt you, that they end up helping you. And I want to show you a sample of that. I'll read it to you, because I know you guys don't know how to read. So I got this email. I'm not sure which. I think this might have been yesterday. I don't know. 2017 Suzuki Hayabusa, 220-ish pounds. Looking to flash my Busa. After seeing all the big country hype, you're obviously doing something right. Been on the forum on Facebook for a while. Wanted to see what the tune does versus stock. Bike is lowered, brake delete, slip on. You get my point. Every once in a while, people go out of their way, try and make you look bad. Sometimes it works in their favor. Sometimes it's a bit too obvious what they're trying to do, and it helps you. Past weekend was an example of that, helping me. I've only gotten nothing but good, positive things. Hell, it's been one of the best times for me from a positive light standpoint in a while. Because now all of a sudden, that people that frequently do want to say, talk-ish about me, now came to my defense to defend me against someone they like even less. So for those people, thank you. And for those people who do like me, thank you. But just know you never have to get yourself involved with that stuff. Ever. I was quiet, sitting back, watching the stuff. It was quite entertaining. That being said, the new Michael Myers game, is that you're talking about, is it an actual Michael Myers game, or is that a skin for, what's the game where you can play anybody and you have to kill? I don't know. Did a great job explaining it, Evan. Good job. Want to start going to drag events? I'll go to drag events. Absolutely. I will absolutely cover track events. I know Richard Gadsden, he would definitely let me give him some media attention. That's the best way to put it. I don't know. Not Ricky, Richard. Richard's the actual, like, well, not that Ricky's not a diehard drag racer, but Richard is the actual competitor right now. Richard is like the sort of like the semi-retired, doing his own thing guy. Ricky, I mean. But yes, I'm down for that. GTA 6 Heist. I'm down for that in 20 years when it comes out. Yeah, eventually. Who knows? Kind of dipped from the car scene when takeover culture started getting big. I mean, I was out before then. Takeover culture to me isn't even a culture. It's just criminal. I don't even know what it is. It's so weird. Like, you know what takeover culture is? And I've repeatedly said this, not necessarily about takeover culture, but about other things. You are now seeing the past few years, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but the participation trophy, now participation trophies have always existed for a really, really, really long time, but the handouts of them and the inclusivity of them has gotten so much bigger in the past, well, 15 or so, 15, maybe 20 years, that, because back when I was in high school, I graduated high school in 2005. I'd never heard of a participation trophy. It was podium was 1 through 3. Unless it was a state level or bigger tournament, then it was 1 through 6 because there's so many people competing. There's a 5th and a 6th place championship. But everything else is 1st through 3rd, gold, silver, bronze, and then 4th, 5th, and 6th got the same. I don't remember what color medal it was. It was just a good job. There's a lot of you. We're gonna expand the podium, but then at some point after that, you just got the same award for being there. And you're now seeing that age group of people who were getting those being adults. And in the real world, when there's only a winner, one of them, and everybody else is a loser, well, that's just not fair. So, thus, Streetcar Takeover. Well, if I can't actually be the only person here who's the best, I'm just going to destroy everything, and this is going to be our game. And we're just going to create pure fucking chaos because fuck the system. The system says I'm not the fucking best. So therefore, what system? There you go. Participation trophy when I was growing up with graduating your teeth. Listen, the Mayan calendar wasn't written yet, Zirkle. So back in the day when this man was trying to entertain people in the Coliseum, although I'm pretty sure the Coliseum came after the Mayan calendar. I don't know that offhand, honestly. I'd have to Google that. But Halloween launches September 8th. I don't know, maybe, but I probably won't stream anything like that because again, I want to keep it purely racing. But so all right, in chat, say yes if you would potentially be interested in seeing where the Sim Racing League thing could potentially go, and say no if you truly don't give a fuck and all you care about is bikes. It's not going to affect what I do. What I do is set in stone, but I am just curious. Of the people here right now, there's 41 people watching. I'm curious, of those 41, who's for potentially being involved and who doesn't want anything to do with it. And while you guys do that, I'm going to get a bathroom break and get some water because I'm a little parched. I'll be right back. Specifically, James, the question is related to if you want to be involved, if you are interested in seeing the Sim Racing League, or if you just want bikes. Let me get my big, beautiful face back on the screen. I worded these, like right now, this angle, this view is live, but I keep wanting to click screen, which is currently what you see here. That's my screen capture. But yeah. So let's see. All right, so we've got Mungus is in. Slow ZX6R doesn't know what we're talking about because he's late. La Handita says yes. Upshift Sean, yes. Devon Terry, yes. Yes, but both. Well, you're going to get both either. Here's the thing. This is pure curiosity, like I said, from I'm just curious to see what people say. Because this is one of those, I'm weird about like content. I can't stand when channels are like, what do you guys want to see? Let me know in the comments below. Every time they have a single free thinking thought, it's like, bro, do what you want to do. If people see you being authentic and passionate about it, you're going to build a viewership base and people are going to, it might not be everybody you know currently. Like right now, I've got basically 25,000 subscribers on this channel. I would say at least half of them probably don't give a fuck about sim racing in the least. But I'm going to ultimately do what I want to do. Now, I'm not just going to be like, hey, guys that have been subscribed and long time fans, go fuck yourselves. Bikes are gone. No, I still like bikes. I still have a passion for bikes. I've just lost a lot of the interest in continuing to be so competitive with them because, again, there's so much risk involved that the risk plus the toxic, in quotes, competition level has just sort of, I'm going to do my own thing, you know? But the sim racing stuff is a great way to bring out some of that toxic competition because it's not a chaos. Like, that's what people don't realize is like the one thing that streetcar takeovers and street racing has in common is chaos. And that's what rules and regulations and sanctions and all of these things that make legal stuff legal come in, and they remove the chaos and they add structure. So sim racing's already done. The game is the game. Whatever game we choose to play, that's the rules. So, but yes, no, Mungus, it will definitely be there. I mean, don't get me wrong. There might be some things that are not cross-platform that are just, I'm not like, I might do some solo stuff on stream. But when it comes to like the league stuff, it will be mandatory crossplay. We might give up some really, really, really good sims, that really like, I don't want to say immerse you, but that, like Assetto Corsa Competizione, like so far from a pure, I am in this car and I am driving this car. It is the one game I would say I've played that has given me the most realistic sensation that I am in a real car right now. The car feels heavy. Like when I go to hit a car in a lot of these video games and the car just stops and I just turn, I just snap and I just turn and I just turn. This feels like I'm moving a fucking car and the physics are really well dialed in. And it's a relatively old game. By relatively old, I mean like 2021. Exactly, James Gilder. Post what you want and the audience will come. At least you have the community of people that actually share the interest instead of a community using you for what they want. Exactly. Thank you. And it's like I always try and tell people, like, at the end of the day, do what you want and just be consistent. Like, Mungus's channel is gigantic. He absolutely trolls me in terms of its size and popularity. And 2020? I'm not sure when it was. When he was like not even monetized yet. I want to say I had like 22,000 subs. I've only got 25 now. And the only advice I gave him essentially was frequency. Just he'll figure out his own rhythm and his own stuff. That's all him. but just frequency, because that is the secret to YouTube, frequency. Figuring out your own frequency and how you want to do stuff, that's up to you. And then he stuck to it. He did the work. He put the time in. He makes a video. Even if he makes a video, he knows is going to be like, well, this ain't going to be my best video. This might be boring. I don't know. Doesn't fucking matter. Make the video, put it out there. All about the algorithm. So, because like there's a lot of good channels that I watch, and I would say 7 out of 10 of the videos I like. The other 3 are probably skips, but watch, click a like, move on. All right, even if I don't watch them, just click on it to click a like. And if it's not something I really care about, then I don't watch it. But like, the thing is that it's not necessarily about that video that isn't very good. It's about keeping you going so that when you have the video that comes out, it's successful under its own accord and not just a random fluke that gets popular because it somehow fell into the algorithm. You stay in the algorithm. Yeah, and anyway, Mungus, congratulations, brother. Your shit is fucking popping. And I'm glad to see you doing well. I broke all my own rules. I put no effort into YouTube. It's the podcast thing kind of sucked because that was something we did put into effort into, not a lot of effort. We put the effort into the wrong things. And it led to nothing. Like it kind of like that was another thing that why it stopped too, is we got kind of frustrated where like I knew I wasn't doing things the right way to maximize like growth of the podcast. But it was tough to see after like 2 years of trying to do it, it didn't grow at all. And that's just the nature of the algorithm. And then that's another part of it too, was it being boring in the sense there's a couple conversations that are real fucking good. And then there's 5 podcasts that follow it where you're just talking about the same shit with just different people and it's boring. So that being said, so of the people that did comment, I didn't see any no's. So that's good. If you guys are interested in seeing, I'll probably just show the video in the corner. Let me see if I can find someone posted an audio clip, and to give you an idea of it, capturing the sound. Like when you hear brakes squeaking, when you hear sand hitting your wheel wells, Gran Turismo doesn't do any of that shit. Forza doesn't do any of that shit. It's just stopping and accelerating, and there's engine noise. The only time you ever hear at any level of tire spin is if you're broiling the tires. Let me go to my history here. Find this one video. We're getting there. Like a 1-minute audio clip. All right, I know I'm not finding it here, so let me do it another way. Hold on. Hang on. All right, so share to myself. I know what I'm going to do. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to have to mute my mic so you guys can hear this, but this is just the general sound of the game and sort of the quality of the sound. And now, if you guys don't know what a 787B is, look it up, but it's probably one of the best sounding cars to ever exist. That car is just amazing. Anyway, that is so I don't know what the first car was. The second one was a Sabre Mercedes. And that the third one there was the 787B. 787B is an NA sometimes I don't was it ever turboed? I know it's a four rotor. It's a four rotor race car. But point is the sounds. So, like, the sound stage of the, like, this is what Gran Turismo, they do okay, but it's, you know, it's a video game. The real diehard sim stuff, when you can properly capture the sound stage, the interior sound, like, when I'm in the cabin view, and, like, maybe you know what I'll do? Let me slap this over here quick. I'm going to jump you into ACC quick. Now, those of you who have seen ACC, you probably know what to expect. Joe, you haven't even gotten sim stuff. Remember when I said I dipped my toe in the shallow end? That's you right now. Which, by the way, we playing some F1 tonight or what? Because it's almost game time. So let me go into ACC. I'm gonna have to put my headset on. That's a mic. Watch out for that. Watch out for that, boys. Sure this mic is still working. Mic check. Yep, mic check works. Perfect. That's what I love. I love this. I hit the button. The audio switched over to my headset, and it didn't change the mic. The mic is still the mic. I love it. God. It's the little things with technology that make everything so great. Here's the thing, Mungus, because you haven't like done it yet. So like you're where I was before I tried it. Where like it's one of those things where like you know you want to do it, but it's not really on the priority list. Like, yeah, I really want to get into the sim stuff. It's cool. But then you just do it, and all of a sudden you're like, well, fuck me running. You ain't kidding. I need to do this. We're getting there. Hold on. All right. I'm just making sure this all works right over here. Good. All right, cool. So, single player. I like the sound of this car, this Lexus RCF. Do some Monza.
Green light, give it all you can.
I think I fucked up though. Yep. So this is one of the things that does suck about a lot of sim games. Now this is a specific issue with this game on PC. If you don't turn your wheel on, which I didn't, before you turn the game on, the wheel won't work even after you turn it on. So I got to leave the game and then boot the game back up with the wheel on. I just forgot because no other game is like that so far. But it's like, it's weird little bugs like that that are just like, that's an easy ass fix. How is this game 5 years old with that problem? And it doesn't, this game, Yes Mungus, is on PS5 as well. It's just not crossplay. I have it on PS5 though, because if any of my PS5 friends want to play it, I can play it. So this is what annoys me. I have to tab out, get back over to that, and now pump the game back up. And now my screen. That's so weird. ACC on computer does have its gremlins. Works pretty good, but it does have its gremlins. So hopefully this time the wheel works.
Green light. Give it all you got.
Works. So anyway, this game has one of my favorite sound stages for a for racing game so far. Oh, I forgot. You really got to turn these cars. Where's my so many buttons. Making sure we're lined up the same. I don't remember the braking zones in this game because they're different in basically every game. Not every game, but I can also use my sequential. Stop at 150. So without me leaving the game quick, you guys hear the game, correct? So what I can do instead of raising the game volume or lowering it, I bump up my mic to max. How is that now? Oh, I fucked up. One thing about ACC is it's a lot of the games, the audio is not the same. Full volume is not full volume. 150 is a little late. So I can turn on, for the sake of learning, because normally a lot of the games I do run with the line on. So, where is it? Line hidden. Stability control is a lot of these games, it's not on all the cars. I don't know if this car, like for example, if you look in the corner, traction control, if I set that to 0, come on. I guess I didn't assists. Yeah, so you actually have to hit the right button. Okay. See, now you have the driving line. Let's turn ABS off. ABS is off. I can't turn when you're out. So this is what's cool, right? So right now ABS is off. If you notice, 1 of 11, 0 of 11, so that's off. 11, 11 is full ABS. So 0 of 11, you hit the brakes hard enough, the tires are locked up. That was tire spinning, I shifted out of it. But watch, no ABS. That's what no ABS looks like. Full ABS though. So one of the complaints about this game, or this sim, is that ABS is too good. And by that I mean, you can just put ABS up to max and stomp the brake pedal, and ABS does all the work for you. That's coming from race car drivers, not people like me. Me, I go, wow, this car stops great. It's a race car, that's why. So instead of looking at the braking zone, I just follow the line, red brake. That's how that's an assist. It's less about the line and more about what to do in that line. That's another thing I like about just about every game that's not Gran Turismo. The ass came out, and I was able to counter steer out of it. Gran Turismo, you're just gonna crash. For some reason, counter steering on a wheel in Gran Turismo doesn't work. Or I should say, it doesn't work like a real car, which, if it's not a real car, then at the point, what's it called when I call it a sim? And I'm intentionally being a little aggressive on the throttle just so it does spin tire. That sounds cool. Like, watch. See, you can't do that in Gran Turismo. You will just crash. Let's see if I can drift it. Nope, almost. This is not a drift game, and it drifts better than games that try to drift. Well, except for that. Fuck that up. Drift. Car's got too much grip to drift. The drift physics in the game are pretty good though, but the problem is the tires are too grippy. See if I can drift this turn right here. Let's go into second. Nope, too much. Second gear is not the gear for that. Alright, so. Alright, so that's an example of like, when the game has a sound stage, that alone pulls you in. Now, if I turned on because my haptics are off right now, but if I turn those on, this game, the whole rig shakes. It's fucking amazing, so, anyway. I don't want to bore you guys the whole time with that, but because I could start just getting into that by myself. But that being said, what I'm going to be starting with is F125. I'll be starting that November 3rd, and then when Project Motor Racing comes out, I believe the 26th, I'm going to be doing that. Whatever my first day streaming is, that'll be the game I'm doing from that point forward. All right, so. Whew. So now let me ask you, for the guys that are still watching, because I lost like half my viewers playing the game, but that's fine. I expect that. That's part of this transition, as you could call it. For those of you that are still watching, what were your thoughts? As far as, oh boy, that looks good. Fix that. There we go. So Forza Horizon 5 went cross-platform, but I have it on both PC and PS5. It's just it's too much of an arcade game. Too much of an arcade game. So let me see here. Joe, are you still in here? Jumpin' Joe? Because if you are, do you want to jump into some F1? And if anybody else in here would like to, I'm down as well. Yeah, the drag racing, there's no like, I would kill for like a drag racing simulator where they put real time into the setup, the physics. Because like the thing about drag racing games, the stickiest tire, you might tweak the suspension and you accelerate. Woo. But in real life, do you have any idea how much harder the 60-foot is? For those of you who have ever drag raced, you know. Than the video game. Make that a challenge. Make the first 330 feet the game. You know? But show me how to, like, I want to be able to adjust rebound, adjust compression, change the ride height. Show me everything. No, the ride height's a lame one. That's everything, but you know what I mean. Let me turn this back down. I'm not blowing out speakers. But, yeah. So, that being said, all right, so I've done this for about 2 hours. I've covered the things that I wanted to cover. I guess I will say before closing this up, should I, first of all, any last questions? And second of all, should I shut the stream down? I'm on a game either way. I'm gonna probably play some. Well, it depends. I'm either gonna play some Battlefield or I'm gonna play some F1. And I'll only play Battlefield if Mungus is interested in Battlefield. But if it's just good old Jumpin' Joe, we're playing some F1. And we're going to do some co-op. Because I need you to score me a couple points. Because even when I come in first place in the co-op races, I don't score enough team points to win. So it's bullshit. I got to score 35 points. First place gets you 25. What if Joe's interested in Battlefield? You're not. You're not. Hold on. I gotta get my coffee. I forgot I made one. Silly me. Oh, it's fucking cold. God damn it. God damn it. Got to get my coffee and put the lid on it. Now it's like lukewarm. I either need hot coffee or iced coffee. Nothing in between. So, all right. So here's the thing. If we want to do F1, I'll stay on live to give you that because that way it kind of follows the trend of what I'm trying to do here. If it's Battlefield, I'm going to shut the stream down. I prefer to do F1, if I'm being completely honest with you. I'm trying to, influence people. But I'm also the only one with a sim, so I understand why other people are like, nah, it's not really all that fun. I agree. Controllers suck. So what are the thoughts? Anybody else who's not doing either, what would you rather see? Would you rather, well, obviously, your options are nothing or F1. So. All right, Mungus wants to see F1. So, Tuna, how long are you going to be up? I'll say this. What we'll do is this. Joe, let's get on some F1 for maybe a half hour. Just a half hour of gameplay, and I'll stay live for that. And then we'll get off, say, by 11, so 10 o'clock your time, Joe. And then we'll do some Battlefield with Tuna. Or are you like, but I want to go to bed because I'm important and like, all that. Has Battlefield fixed the hit registration yet? That's the biggest thing hurting me right now. Nothing is more annoying than taking a sniper and shooting through a human being. And the problem is I really like the sniping in the game, and I really like sniping in general. So when you know you hit someone who's not moving and there's not even a hit marker, it should be a death, but it's not even a hit marker. And then I get turned around and killed by a guy with a pistol, I get really pissed off. I'd say the game is 90% to the point of being a really good game. You want to go to bed because you're important. Okay, so get on F1 right now then. Hurry up, Joe. Here, want me to get in the Discord? Get in the Discord for Joe. Oh, you guys are already in there. Hold on, let's talk some shit. Oh, hello. Oh, wow, that's loud. Hold on, let me, you guys can't hear me yet. I'm not muted. Just to have a different microphone. Hold on. Input device. You guys got me now, right? Yep. Yeah, I see you do. Yeah, you do. Do me a favor. Fucking whatever's reverbing, don't play, because I'm streaming right now, motherfucker. Whatever you're watching the stream on, you hear me. Because I'm an aggressive person. God. Alright, so Tuna's going to warm up on Battlefield, which is really just going to be me playing with him, because I know you're going to go to bed, Joe. And you fucking Cody, I already know you're already in bed. Alright, so let me do this. I'm going to stream, just show off a little bit of F1 first. Just waiting for Joe to wreck so you can make fun of him. Joe, you have a reputation, don't you?
Get in there, Lewis. What a way to do it, mate.
What? PUBG's awesome. I don't want to hear it. You hate PUBG because it requires skill. Well, I know I suck at the game. I get mad at Battlefield when a kill that I know I got. Like, here's the thing. When I miss in PUBG, I actually miss. Like, if I get a headshot, like, their head's missing if it was real life. All right, so let me start multiplayer Grand Prix for the sake of the stream. We'll just do some good old-fashioned regular old multiplayer. Friends only. Oh shit, I gotta hold that thought. I gotta Alright. Uh-huh. Nope. Are you in F1 yet? Joe? Alright, you got an invite, sir. Let me set these things up. So AI difficulties default. Later, sir. Take care. So we'll do full for the sake of your sanity, although it would be fun. Oh, they can hear you. Welcome to this. Can you guys hear Joe? Huh. All right. Let me see. No. That's a big part of the experience here is you raging. All right. Properties. Desktop audio default. This is weird. Huh. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out why it and here we go. They're not a all right, I might have to as well, but that's so weird. The headset's not appearing. Jesus Christ, bro. I think it's working now.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. It's working.
All right. Now the question is, will they hear the game? Yep, the game is heard. That's weird. That's so weird. Because you don't set it. Because the Astros have two audio outputs. They have voice and game. Voice doesn't get picked up by just the voice. That's so fucking weird. Anyway, all right, we're in. Oh yeah. Stream capture. Boom. Okay. Rules and flags. Fuck yeah. That's what kills you.
No, do no rules.
No.
No flags.
No.
And I'll smoke you.
Hear this. I know you know Monza, so we'll do Monza. That fair?
No. Yes, that's fair.
Weekend structure, we'll do one-shot qualifying. We'll do
Just
some
do Nürburgring.
There's no Nürburgring in this game. I wish there was.
What?
Yeah, I know. Total miss. But it's an EA game. What do you expect? This. Lobby options. Oh yeah, AI. We need AI.
EA account required. I have one.
Invite friends. You're offline. It says.
I'm not even... Yeah, it's trying to communicate with online services.
Trying to think if it's me or you. Because, like, I wasn't online. So I might have to restart the game. Sorry for those who are watching. Technical difficulties.
Probably Bubbles End.
Could be mine.
It's not letting me... Let me try restarting again. It's
No,
not even letting me get in the game.
It's not letting you in the game?
No. It's in the game.
Yeah. You know what's not in the game? You.
You're right. It's actually one thing you're right about.
I'm right. I'm right about a lot of things.
How to set up a bike for half mile is not right, dude. You're supposed to gear it longer and make the bike shorter.
You did and went faster, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I made it shorter and geared it longer. And it got faster. It did more miles an hour.
So that's I mean, you have the same headset essentially, Mungus. So for some reason when the Streamlabs doesn't pick up, even though it's playing out of the game part of the headset, the game driver and not the voice driver, it doesn't pick up his voice on the game driver. But it picks up his voice on the voice driver, but it also picks up the game on the voice driver.
You can invite me.
It's weird. Wait, friends. My friend. Also, Mungus, I think you're probably fast forward your stream. Because if you just heard him now for the first time, it means you're behind. Because I have to like constantly fast forward my stream up on my end. I don't know if it's because I'm streaming with less latency.
He does know that's not tuna, right?
It doesn't matter. I'm not worried about that.
That matters. Bubbles is not tuna.
Did you get booted?
No, I'm in.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see you.
I see you.
Sent you an invite.
I'm in. I just ran it up. Monza.
You're definitely not in.
5 lap. 1 shot.
Definitely
looking
not
at
in.
it.
Here, look at the stream.
Are you qualifying?
No.
Oh, well. Let me back out. Send me another invite.
I don't know what happened there.
I was in. I was showing I was in at least.
That's weird. So you backed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not in my server anymore?
Nope.
All right, I sent you an invite. I saw that you were in there.
Hang on, it's making me go through this bullshit.
Worst case, I'll restart mine because I'm pretty sure it's mine. Because I opened up the game without me being online available in Steam. I just gotta change that, man.
Dude, that car on Assetto sounded fire.
That dude, Assetto. Well, here's what I can say about Assetto. Assetto is one of those games where it's a lot better on PC. Even though it's the same game, like the sound quality is turned way down on, because like sound is horsepower. Like, and by horsepower I mean like requires computer horsepower. So the sound stage, like that's one of the things that like PMR, Project Motor Racing, is harping on, is it being everything is developed on PC and 101 for one transferred over to console. Whereas like Assetto, it's got the same sound, but it's like you're listening to the sound with like filtered earmuffs on or something like that on PS5 compared to PC. It sounds so good on PC.
Man, I don't know what's up with
I'm
this
trying to dumb it down for people, sir. James. Remember, I'm talking to people who know what horsepower is. All right, I'm going to restart my game since I know you're having all sorts of fucking problems.
Well, it just said something went wrong with this game, and it shut down.
I'll restart my game for the sake of sanity.
Okay.
I think this is Joe's attempt to not want to play.
Yep, the whole PlayStation's broke. I gotta take it to the repair shop in the morning.
I mean, I'm on PC and you're on console. I should be the one having problems. Console guys just get in and play. PC guys are the ones that got to configure shit.
Not if you got a good PC.
Well, I've only ever had good PCs my whole life.
Okay, then.
That's a lie. There was a little stint between 2015 and 2000, like, I think 19 or something like that, where I didn't buy a single component. And 4 years for computers is a lifetime, so. Now I upgrade every rotation. I do the exact thing I don't recommend people do, but because it's like my favorite thing on the fucking planet, I have to have. It's one of the few things where I have to have the best of the best of.
Because you're bougie.
Well, it happens.
I'm ready for an invite.
All right. Multiplayer Grand Prix. Friends only. My feelings got hurt so bad that I quit. And now I sim race. I don't know what I just said, what language that was, or what accent that was, but I'm not going to go through any editing of this session until I see you in here. Who the fuck is this guy? You got the invite, right?
I did. Joining session. Please wait.
Say a prayer for Joe.
Lord, let Joe get in this game. Amen. I don't think it's gonna work.
Bruh. Rowdy had no problems getting in. And he's on PlayStation. What the issue is. This is a consistent you problem.
Error. Failed to join the session.
All right. So there is one. Did you ever change the setting that a couple of the guys had to change for Gran Turismo to get them to work?
Not on Gran Turismo or this.
No. Well, no, it's PlayStation itself. It's a network setting in
or
PlayStation.
You might have had me do it. I think.
I just don't remember where it is offhand. The not NAT type, but
try sending me another invite. I think we just tried it a couple times yesterday, and it finally worked.
Well, my game was freshly reset, even though I don't think it was me, but while you figure this out, I'm gonna turn my butt kickers on. Oh, my butt kick.
Yeah, I want to try those things out.
Oh, they're amazing.
Air code PP65550. Nice.
Oh, killing me,
Send me
Joe.
another one. Try it again.
Open up SimLab. So SimLab is the software you use for, there's so much shit you can do with this, but this controls the telemetry for all the games. So I'll just show it on screen quick.
Nope, failed to join the session. What the hell? I'm gonna restart my whole PlayStation. I'll be back.
Okay. So this is all I have going through my butt kickers here, but engine vibration 60%, gear shift 70%, impacts 100% since impacts are essentially crashing. Road rumbles like rumble strips, simulated road texture, which is like just the terrain of the road, obviously. There's lots of other things you can do too, but like because they're pistons and they're a physical thing traveling, too much will make it all worse because it just becomes a constant vibration. So, like for example, I have gear shift as priority, so it feel like, because I always want to feel gear shifts no matter what, because they're a massive mechanical jolt in real life. So in this case, yeah. So while Joe's fooking around, I'll quit this and I'll do a quick time trial, see if I can beat a record. All right, McLaren. Go Abu Dhabi. Anybody see the movie F1, by the way? If you haven't, you owe it. If you're into car movies, you owe it to yourself to see F1. Best car movie I've seen in, well, honestly, since the last good car movie to me was Rush. All right, go to track. Flying lap. Oh, hold on, I gotta switch my shit back. Hold on. Start that over. I had to switch my wheel back to my F125 settings. You're right, James. Gran Turismo movie I actually loved. So yes, F1's the best car movie since that movie. Beat my record. But there's a good half second in there somewhere that I keep losing. That was a terrible turn. Terrible. Damn, I forgot about Ford versus Ferrari too. Damn. I have all these movies too, that's the worst part. Now, Ford versus Ferrari was solid. Gran Turismo was solid. The only real mistakes in Gran Turismo was the order of the things that happened in real life. They did it for the sake of movie.
Ready whenever you are.
Holy shit. So what's annoying is that this game is super fucking quiet. So, for the record, I am 63,000th ranked in that time trial. That's a get good moment, Evan. Now, if I turned off full TC, there's probably a little bit of time there because it's very intrusive on full. But I leave it on for the sake of I can hear me and your shit like a motherfucker right now, Joe. God damn it. Kill me. Anyway.
What are you talking about?
I hear me and your shit.
That's probably my mic echoing. I don't have the stream on.
You've been invited, sir.
I see that. So exciting. Joining session, please wait.
Oh! Joe's gamer tag. Fun fact. Anybody who's ever joined my session, this game has like saved their names. Oh, you're gone again now. Fuck!
Yeah, I didn't even ever join on my screen.
Try again.
Oh my god. It's still showing joining session.
Dude, I don't know what the problem is. Can't even open
Let's try again. No, my app's closing out again. You want to run some Assetto?
No. Because I
don't
have
either.
Well, my point is I have to use my PlayStation.
Oh.
Because it's not crossplay, remember?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Let me do a couple time trial laps, and then we'll jump on some Battlefield off stream. God, that's fun.
Hang on, let's try it one more time.
All right, one more time. Create session.
17th time is the charm.
We're gonna do open. Maybe that's the problem. So randoms can join us too. Please no randoms join. Invite friends. Says you're not even online.
Yeah, I'm loading in.
The funny thing is that these console problems shouldn't be console problems. Console should always be easier, but I'll have to check what my setting is. But there's a number, forgot what it's called, that made Gran Turismo. Like Rowdy could not join, or if he did join, couldn't stay in one of our lobbies until he changed the setting. And a lot of people have been like that. I don't know if we ever changed yours or not.
So you re-downloaded Battlefield?
Yeah. It's been re-downloaded.
How long till you
I haven't played it though.
quit again?
Probably the next time I play it. It depends. If they fix the problems, they got to get rid of Bloom. Bloom is terrible. They got to fix the hit registration. I hate Bloom. Bloom is not what Bloom is what Fortnite did. Do you know what Bloom is?
Dude, I kind of want to. I do. I don't.
Of course you don't. Bloom is so a proper shooter when you're shooting a gun is the gun has recoil, so the gun bounces, and you kit the gun so that there's less recoil, so you have control. So you're fighting the gun bouncing around. But the bullet is always going where the reticle is. The gun is just bouncing around. Bloom is when you have the reticle pointed in the same spot, and the bullet is going in random spots. That's called Bloom. That's not a realistic thing. That's a programming thing to randomize games to try and close the skill gap. But like closing the skill gap is the same thing as SBMM. Whenever you try and make it so that the playing field is leveled through an algorithm, it actually becomes completely fake feeling. And everything goes to shit. Nobody likes SBMM, but the thought process is, oh, well, You just want to pwn noobs. You just want to beat up on. It's like, no, you want randomization when it comes to. You don't know who you're going to be shooting at. You might kill a noob. You might have to go toe to toe with a guy who's good. You don't know. But when everybody is good and you're good, now you're in a sweat lobby and everybody there is fucking insane and it's just not fun anymore. Well, with Bloom, you've introduced randomized bullet spread. You might have great aim, but your aim sucks now because it's forced into the fucking game through Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Bloom is why you quit Fortnite for a while.
Said your
PUBG.
session no longer exists.
Here, let me invite you. It's definitely open. Let me just see something. This might be why. Hold on. This might have been the problem the whole time. Might have been. Invite friends. Joe.
Wasn't there something you changed, like your online status or something, and it helped it?
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I have
think
to
I'm
wonder
in
if
lobby.
you're not. You bounced
No.
out. Hold on though. So, I think
My game's frozen.
so. In the settings here, the lobby options, the minimum license level was A, which be why it could be putting you in and then immediately booting you out because you're license level C. And it just always defaults to whatever I am. So I just turned off minimum license level. And so for the sake of close the session down, create session, friends only.
I'm joining back up. I had to close my game out because it froze.
Yep.
This game's terrible so far. For this factor.
All right, minimum license level is set to off now. So when you get your game back up, I'll try it. If that doesn't work, let's just give up. Because I'm tired of fucking doing menu simulator for everybody.
I want to do some dig racing with my shifter. Oh my god.
I'm gonna drink that entire thing of coffee waiting for you to get in this lobby. Alright, let me know when you're prepped.
I'm ready.
Alright, invite players. Here we go. See if the license thing fixed it.
It still says communicating with online services.
You just said you were ready to go.
Yeah, I'm in the game, but it's on the top left. It says that still.
This fucking guy. That's true. You've got more views for Menu Simulator than you did ACC, which is crazy! Fucking ACC is entertaining, man. I mean, I know it's obviously more entertaining to play than it is to watch, but it's still fucking... Like, I know I'll never be good at shooters. At the left, like, the problem is because they're so popular and they're so sweaty that even if I get good, the ceiling is so fucking high for how good you could get. Whereas I feel like with racing, the ceiling's a little lower. And also, if I ever got into iRacing, I could race Verstappen. I would love to see, not a time trial, but a race with how much faster Verstappen is than me. Or anybody for that matter, but...
Okay, I give up. I'm getting off.
So your shit didn't even load this time?
No, it just said failure to join game session.
Alright, cool.
Call of Duty The Haunting. How gay.
Let's Call of Duty get desperate. All right, I'll do a couple time trial laps and then I'll call the stream good. Just if anybody has any last questions, do you want to do Battlefield, Joe, or are you done?
I'll run a game, like one.
All right, well, I'm going to do a couple laps on time trial while the Q&A closes up, so give me, I don't know, give me five or so minutes.
That's fine.
All right, I'll be back. Lewis, if you're still watching, join up in the Discord. I'm going to leave the Discord for now, though. All right. Well, that was fun, everybody. Apparently Joe needs a new PS5 or better internet. It's probably, no, I have to run him through those settings, and because PS5 is weird with their network settings. It's surprisingly problematic joining lobbies on PS5. Like, for the longest time, we had so many issues with Gran Turismo until I figured it out on Google. What was the cause for the problems? All right, so is there any series that I can do? God, they're all fucking high level, which means I'm going to suck. All right, I got to finish 10th or better. This is an F2 race. Well, fun fact, I mean, you seem to have a little bit more of a technological knowledge than some people, but I have Spectrum. I have Spectrum's highest plan, so I get 1,000 over 35 or something like that, because it's not fiber. I wish. But the internet was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. But it was the provided router. I bought my Asus router, gave them their garbage back. My internet's insane. I pay for 1,000 over 35, and my cell phone through Wi-Fi gets 1,200. I get more than I'm paying for. And I'm talking like I couldn't send texts on my Wi-Fi. It was that bad. And it was all their router, not the service. So. And Spectrum is supposed to be pretty booty, but I've had only really good luck with it. All right. Oh no, it's a fucking wet race.
So today, the sprint race, no pit stops, just full on pace. It's all about speed, daring, and sheer driving skill. What, I wonder, is in store for us today?
I'm gonna do so bad right now. Because I'm already competing with cars that are too fast.
3.6 miles of tarmac and 18 corners are no stranger to rain. Even in these conditions, without the DRS that would normally be available, it's
Yeah, let's go. Put me in, coach. All right. Well, we're in rain. So rain, I'm always going max downforce. All right, here we go. 10th or better, right? Let's go downforce. Oh my Lanta. There's no grip. And with TC on full, because you like rain races in this game, don't even waste your time not being on full TC. And this is the downside to having max downforce. You have no steam in the straights. Car turns in better because of the front end downforce, but I still can't put power down.
That's a decent start. Good job.
And another thing I don't like in this game, well, I don't know if it's this game or if it's real life, but F2 cars cannot downshift until a certain RPM. F1 cars just downshift immediately. If I had known this was a rain race, I wouldn't have fucking done it. This guy's gonna drive around me. Yep. Oh no. Guys, all right. Where's his penalty? Cut the corner, bitch. Fuck you. There was nothing clean about that, by the way, but sure. All right, this car is not fast enough, so let's do this. Restart session. Let's try the old-fashioned. Let's just go as fast as we can. Max top speed. We're going to have no turning abilities. How the fuck do they hit me like that? And not, I'm gonna get a penalty for that though, right? Watch. Weird, no one's getting penalties. I wonder if it has to do with racing in the rain. If the stewards are more forgiving.
Okay, you've got front wing damage, but only have a few laps left. If you can live with it, stay out.
Oh my god. Look at this. No downforce. Alright, this is a waste of time. Yeah, quit to main menu. Alright. I think I'm gonna jump into some Battlefield, which means I'm gonna close the stream down. So anyway, F1 we're gonna be playing on November 3rd, and we're gonna be playing this until Project Motor Racing comes out, and that's the game I want to use for the league. But I'm going to be kind of talking to some people and figuring that stuff out, how I want to do it. I'm going to have to figure out how many people. I got to figure out like a bracketry system and stuff like that. And I got to figure out how I want to do it with people in that. If I want to go just by rankings, how I want to do it. But either way, the idea is to, I don't want to say push the sim shit on people, but it's a lot of fucking fun. It's legitimate, especially with games like Project Motor Racing. It's legitimate racing where you're globally ranked. Like you're in an ecosystem where it doesn't feel as pointless as a lot of, say, other things. Where like F1 25, this game's great, but it's going to get replaced by F1 26 in probably a few months, and then be like, cool, now you got to buy it. It's like a Call of Duty thing. And Call of Duty is just big enough to be ranked, but at the end of the day, it's so fucking big that no, peasant like me, or respectfully any of you, are ever going to be on any kind of... You're never going to go anywhere to celebrate Call of Duty. But sim racing shit... I'm not saying you're going to be a professional racer. That's not at all what I'm saying. But there's some fun to be had on the competitive level in sim racing. Like I said, and the funny thing is like I'm getting into it now, in my opinion, what feels like the right time, because the cost of entry is dropping considerably right now. It's weird. It's been around for a while, but it feels like the past year it's gotten real consumer friendly, so like now is the time to get in, because in my opinion, if you wait a while, and by a while I mean like years, like it's like if you were to try and start playing Call of Duty right now and you've never played Call of Duty, you're probably gonna fucking hate playing Call of Duty, because the skill gap, the ceiling is so fucking high. Whereas, get into sim racing now, you got some time to get good before everybody's good. There's a couple of time trials where I'm under 2,000 ranking globally. I'm like, to me, like, listen, that means fucking nothing, but it's cool. It's cool to go, oh, hey, I'm 1,728 out of the, I shouldn't say the millions, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people who play the game. So, and I haven't been playing the game more than 50 hours, as you saw, 44 before that little whatever you want to call it was. So that being said, it's cool. I'm excited. I can't wait to do more sim racing. I will be starting to do some sim racing content, and I'm probably going to actually, the next sim racing video I make is probably going to be a walk around of the rig and an explanation of the rig. Yeah. Anyway, folks, for those of you that are still here, I want to say thank you for toughing it out. I know these aren't always the most, easy to watch, but if you guys had fun, I'm glad you did, because I did too. I do miss doing this shit. 44 hours of racing F1 25, 1 hour dealing with Joe. Luckily for me, I have a lot of hours dealing with Joe. It's just not on this game. Or I don't know if that's lucky or not, but anyway, folks, thanks for being here, and I'll be live again November 3rd, and I will be posting a lot about it. So until then, stay tuned for the uptick of actual videos, shorts, and stuff like that. So in the meantime, folks, thanks for being here. Peace.